Hello and welcome back to the Peak Politics Podcast. This is going to be episode 9, recording this at right around 1:30 on September 19th of 2020, of course.
Duh
Indeed. I think tomorrow we'll sit down and record our Constitution Day episode, get that out to you guys on Sunday, ideally. But today we're just going to go over our normal podcast. Like we said this week, there's definitely going to be a normal podcast. We're not substituting material or anything. So I think we're just going to dive right into it. Wyatt, do you want to start?
Well, the first one was really, you were the one who found the story, so if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, this is interesting. I'm just kind of following this. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this, or you've at least seen this in some major news sources. There's a report, but not so much a report, because donations are a matter of public record, but someone looked at the data and saw that about half of the donations, or not of the donations total, but half of the gross amount of money that Biden raised in the 2019 season was given by people who were unemployed. About 400 million, I think it was, of donations were given by people who listed no employer. So the issue with that being, I don't think anyone can verify their identities either. So we don't know if someone was just using their name and not listing an employer or something like that. So that's it's basically it's interesting because it looks like it could be some sort of fraud, foreign donations, something like that. Regardless, it's like half of his fundraising for the previous year. And you'll remember in 2019 we didn't have very high unemployment. I think we were like at or below 4%, depending on your state. And so
we were really low.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And so that's interesting. More interesting is the breakdown. I think they said that means on average every person that was unemployed gave $74 to Biden.
On average. I
suppose that's plausible, but their reasoning from Act Blue was that it's people that are retired, people that are homemakers or whatever, stuff like that. And the issue with that is that generally speaking, Tim Pool had a really good discussion on this, but generally speaking, retired people aren't really willing to do that sort of stuff. Give large donations. $74 isn't exactly large, but it's significant for some people to political campaigns because it comes right out of their retirement money and they're on a fixed income.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, they don't like to do that. And then of course, homemakers, generally speaking, they're on a budget too with their significant other. So I guess in that case, if they were the ones giving the money, if they discussed it with their significant other, they probably would have put the significant other's employer. They would have had that guy give the donation or that person, the husband or the wife. So it's weird. It's an odd percentage, 50%.
Yeah, that's pretty massive.
Of all your money coming from unemployed people. It's a little interesting. I think the Republicans had like 4% or something like that. I'll have to double check.
I think it was like 4 or 5.
4 or 5. It was a number. It wasn't super huge. It wasn't super small. I guess if 4% of the country is on unemployment, that makes more, or unemployed, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But regardless, it's not a big deal. I don't really care what's going on over there because it looks up and up. It doesn't look like a problem. But this with the Democrats is interesting because there's so much opportunity for fraud here is what it looks like.
Oh yeah.
Multiple donations, giving over the limit. That's a possibility. Foreign investments possibility. I mean, God, who knows? But I think it deserves some sort of investigation.
Oh yeah.
Just take a look at the facts and see exactly what's going on here. See if we can find any illicit activity because that's just ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah. Why would unemployed people donate to? And not all of it was just Biden, but also to Act Blue. I believe some of it was. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was going through specific funding organizations, but I mean, But why exactly are unemployed people giving a bunch of their money away?
Yeah, it's because $74 is not something to gawk at. Like it's.
You mean scoff at?
No, gawk.
Gawk. To gawk is to like. You know what? Never mind.
Or laugh at. Whatever.
That's better. Scoff, laugh.
Whatever.
Because gawking is like staring in awe, whereas laughing or scoffing is belittling.
Yeah. You're right. Okay, but yeah, it's not an amount to laugh at for sure. $74 is that's a pretty good chunk of money for most of the country, especially if you're unemployed. So yeah, it's
just an interesting amount. It's like over $50. It's kind of like
that's quite a bit. Because if you're on unemployment, depending on where you are, I know in Texas it's like 525 is the max you can get a week. That's almost a fifth. of what you're getting a week. So that's a lot.
And it's not necessarily the amount of money that's the issue here. It's just the fact that so much of it came from unemployed people that it's just kind of odd.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
So I just thought the whole thing was just strange. It was just strange, and I guess the average. I don't know what the high end or low end on that is.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
For the unemployed people, but I mean, like, that's just.
Still.
It just strikes me as odd, specifically because it's the percentage of people, percentage of the gross amount from fundraising being from unemployed. Like 50% is ridiculous. That's what I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't say that very eloquently. What's alarming is that there's 50% of his gross amount of fundraising from all of last year's donations.
Yeah.
From unemployed people. That's $400 million. That's a lot of money to get from the unemployed.
Yeah, it is.
So, I'm not saying they don't have it. I'm not saying it's impossible. It just seems ridiculous.
Yeah.
And again, remember, this is 2019. If you, I don't know if I expressed that clearly enough. This is not this year. It's not 2020. It's not during coronavirus. It's not with a 10, 12% unemployment. This is last year when the economy was doing, like, amazing.
Yep.
So that's just, to me, it struck me as interesting. I think they were talking about this a couple days ago on various shows I was watching, and more or less had the same conclusion that maybe nothing's going on. Maybe this is up and up, on the up and up, but I really have some doubts.
Yeah.
Very serious doubts.
Yeah, no, it's definitely fishy, or it could be fishy.
Almost as fishy as Kamala Harris's. Okay, well, no, never mind.
There you go. Her WAP.
I won't. You know what's funny? Speaking of WAP, this is we didn't actually include a link for this, but Cardi B's getting divorced.
Oh yeah,
that was hilarious to hear.
Oh yeah,
because I'm trying to show she had troubles in her marriage, but like I didn't expect that. And the funny thing about that is, I don't cook, I don't clean. Wet ass pussy is how I got this ring, or something to that effect in her song.
Yeah.
And it's like, apparently that wasn't good enough. Apparently your wet ass pussy is not a particularly appealing one because he cheated on you with someone who does cook and clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
From what I understand.
And one real quick thing on that is that's been known for a while, that because they haven't been divorced for or whatever, but they have been like actually separated. Like
but the divorce was funny because it's just funny to see.
Yeah.
Well, she criticizes Candace Owens for what effectively looks like a perfect marriage.
Yeah,
it's like, you have a dry ass pussy, yada yada yada. It's like, I don't know. I feel like her husband's sticking around and yours isn't. So
yeah. And I mean, yeah.
And let's just be honest,
Candace
like perfectly.
Pregnant,
like I don't really give a two flying F's what anyone else says, but I, as a person who is male, can tell you with a significant amount of assuredness and reasonably most men probably feel like I do. I much prefer Candace over Cardi B as a life partner because Cardi B is kind of a rapist, or thief. I'm not sure if she raped those men. I'm positive she robbed them. I'm not sure if she raped them.
Well, she admitted that she robbed them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm positive she robbed them. I'm not sure she raped them.
Yeah, I don't know.
But she definitely drugged them and
she's
robbed
definitely
them. That's
she's definitely
for sure.
a thief.
Yeah, she's definitely a bitch.
And then she's also just garbage.
I mean, again, like, not to question her, like, every aspect of her character. I'm sure she's a reasonably good mother, reasonably good. She's not untalented in business and stuff like that.
Well,
no, I say in business. I mean, she personally, I don't give a crap about whether she's talented or not in rap. I couldn't care less. But she obviously knows how to market herself, and can't knock her for that.
Yeah,
but she's also a garbage human being.
Yeah, for sure.
Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass pussy.
Yeah,
it's like that is not the level of. That's not what I would call a good person. That's not what I would call an enlightened human being.
No. One thing that I did want to say about Cardi B, her music, and this is coming from somebody, I don't know if I saw this on the podcast, but I almost exclusively listen to rap. For the most
he doesn't have a good taste in music. It's well understood.
Yeah, whatever. You're entitled to your wrong opinion, Andrew.
You're damn right I'm entitled to my correct opinion. Thank you, Wyatt.
And she really only has like 2 songs that are good, and they were on her first album. And neither one of them were one of those over-sexualized BS songs. They were both storytelling tracks, and they were actually pretty decent. So if she were to like sort of turn and like focus more on that, I think she'd be much better. But even that, like even those 2 songs that were good, they were like 6 out of 10s or 7 out of 10s. They weren't even like really that great per se, but they were decent. They were good.
I don't even care about her music career. It's just I wish she made some better choices, and I could respect her more.
Yeah.
Like, frankly, I don't. Again, her music can be whatever it is. It's just utter pop crap. Pop culture like crap.
Yeah.
Fine. There's a lot of that going around. If she wants to profit off it, go for it. But if she'd just get out of politics, if she'd just shut up and stick to her profession, it would be a lot easier to respect her.
Yeah.
And if you want to get politically engaged, do so, but don't pretend you don't pretend you know things.
Yeah, because she obviously doesn't.
Yeah, do some research. Be a smart human being, and don't say I want lower taxes and tell Joe Biden you want free education at the same time. Like,
yeah,
maybe have this little thing
and
called a conscience, and realize that you don't get to get out of taxes while demanding everyone else in your earning that amount of money pays more taxes. And they should come out and say, like, well, I didn't really mean that. It's obvious I have to pay more taxes, yada, yada, yada. It's like, okay, because you said pretty explicitly that you don't like paying taxes.
Yeah.
So you were criticizing the tax code.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like you were firmly saying you'd like to pay less taxes and get free education. It's like,
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Dude, the best thing Cardi B did during the entirety of that beef was called Donald Trump plankton. That was hilarious.
Oh yeah, that's pretty funny.
Like I would like to pretend that wasn't funny. That was hilarious.
No, yeah, it's still
that was
funny.
Phenomenal. Again, she's not a. I don't think she's smart. I don't know if she did it intentionally, but that was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Credit where credit is due. That was phenomenal. It was wrong. It's not accurate. He's more Mr. Krabs. But
yeah.
I just enjoyed it.
Yes.
Me millionth dollar.
Yeah,
he's a Mr. Krabs right. Kind of guy.
At least
like,
based off what I've been told about Mr. Krabs, that seems correct. Because I actually haven't watched SpongeBob.
Yeah, he's uncultured. See, this is the guy that tells you he has taste in good music, but hasn't watched SpongeBob. It's like
no. So in my defense, there's a reason. Okay, why I haven't watched it. It was because my parents were told that SpongeBob and Patrick were gay, and so they wouldn't let me watch it.
Okay, first and foremost, even if they were, the show mocks those two characters all the time, so it'd be fun. Second,
I mean, yeah,
they're not. They're just best friends who are retarded.
I know. I understand that, but that is the reasoning behind me not being able to watch when I was a kid. And then at this point, I'm sort of just it's already past me.
No, I promise you,
it's already too late.
It's amazing. It's way better as an adult.
Okay, well,
as someone who's watched it in both age frames, let me tell you, it is so much funnier as an adult.
Well, okay, well, let's get 5 comments, and I'll start watching. And then we at least have to watch.
We at least have to watch the chocolate
let's just
episode
get 5
where they go around selling
video.
chocolate. That's like that's oh my god, the memes. And then do the memes from SpongeBob, because SpongeBob is so good for memes.
Alright. Well, we'll see.
You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?
Oh.
It's like, oh my god, it's amazing.
Yeah, I am aware of that meme.
Well, and then the other one, like the, how many times we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Like, that meme's great. My legs! My leg! That's the SpongeBob thing. Fucking, oh my god, SpongeBob's amazing. And then, the Alaskan Bullworm, the Hash Slinging Slasher. I mean, there's just so much good crap in SpongeBob. It's amazing. It's just a phenomenal show. Really, really earns its place.
Alright, well, we'll see. As I said, if we can get 5 comments on this video, they don't even have to be directly related, I'll watch it.
Can I get 10 comments telling him to watch it, just to prove that it's good? I know that many of you will agree with me. That the show is definitely worth viewing.
Definitely.
Just for the memes, man. Just for the memes.
Alright, do we have anything else to say on that, the finance thing? The campaign finance stuff?
No, it's pretty interesting.
Pretty much good.
I wonder how much of that was Cardi B.
Nice. Got it.
Har. Got him.
Alright. So, moving on to what is pretty much like one of the biggest
this is the biggest news
and
probably
that just broke
this year
last
almost,
night.
Actually.
So
I mean, there's other things that happen. This, like, as far as American politics goes, this is like ridiculous.
Is the biggest thing. Yeah. So, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Snail librarian's dead. Cartoon snail librarian, she's gone.
Oh my gosh.
I'm fairly certain that's a SpongeBob reference too, actually, because there is a snail librarian in SpongeBob, if I recall.
Oh really?
Maybe somewhere else, but I'm almost certain it's a snail librarian.
Okay. Well, yeah, but Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away yesterday.
RIP.
Well, I don't know if it was yesterday, but it was announced yesterday.
No, it was definitely yesterday.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Died tonight at the age of 87. Yeah. So, this is crazy. Because she's been battling with cancer and different sicknesses for a while. And I was not expecting this to happen. I thought that she was going to step down after the election. Either way that it would have gone, I felt that she was going to step down.
Well, if I had known what was going on, I could have predicted this because, like, apparently she's been really bad the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I just didn't know. It wasn't being reported on. So
yeah, right, for sure. But yeah, like it's rest in peace to her. But at the same time,
we are a slightly freer country.
Yeah.
Hip hip hurrah for some constitutionalism.
Yeah.
I think her dying wish was to apparently was to not be replaced until after the election. So
yeah,
that's really sad. I'm sorry the entirety of your life boiled down to a really pointless political controversy.
Yeah,
like that tells me a lot about you, that your dying wish is insert political statement.
Yeah, and
sorry
thing is,
your life sucks so much that's what you have to rely on.
Yeah, and more than that,
that's kind of sad.
She doesn't own that seat. Like,
well, it's I don't really care about whether or not, it's not like a matter of whether she has the right to do it. I'm just reflecting on the fact that that's her dying wish. It's like you're surrounded by family members. I think her granddaughter was the one that said she said that, so she was right with her granddaughter. It's like, you couldn't have said something more meaningful. You couldn't have. You didn't have anything else you wanted out of life or out of death. You just fuck over the conservatives.
Yeah,
you're a bitch. You're a bitch with zero love in your heart, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I hope that's not the case. I hope I'm exaggerating. I hope she's somewhat kind and I hope there's something redeeming about her. I've heard she's actually not a bad person, but there's not a lot of people that really are. I mean, even Joe Biden, he gets glowing reviews from the Republican senators and whatnot, saying when they worked with him, he was a great person.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's very few people that are actually. I mean, Kamala Harris, a couple of other people that are like probably genuinely evil, but
yeah. But at the same time,
I don't think she was like evil. I just think she was wrong about a lot of crap.
Yeah.
She was wrong significantly
on almost everything.
And I don't think it's in doubt that the world that America will be a freer country, a more constitutional country without her in it.
Yeah. As far as being part of the
it's sad to see her go, because it was fun to rag on her as being 1 foot in the grave. Now she's 2 feet in the grave, but I can't pretend in any good faith that I actually think this is a bad thing.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is she lived a long life. She died at 87.
A very successful life. I mean, it's not to downplay her achievement. She is a successful
extremely
human
successful.
being.
Yeah.
We disagree with her, but there's no doubt that she led a ridiculously successful career.
Was she the first woman appointed to the Supreme Court?
I don't think she was the first one, no.
Okay. I thought maybe she might have been.
She's like one of 4 total, but I don't think she was the first one.
Okay, well, I mean...
Could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Okay. I thought maybe that would have been a possibility, because I really don't know that much about
how she was appointed during Clinton.
Oh, okay. You see, I thought that she was appointed before.
No, she's only been on there for like 37 years.
Okay.
I say only.
Yeah, only.
Yeah, she was appointed, I guess that would put her like in 93. So.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. I mean... Yeah,
nope.
So...
But she was still she's a pretty groundbreaking figure. Pretty interesting figure.
Yeah, she's definitely a very important figure, for sure.
For all the wrong reasons, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Again, I don't really care who replaces her at this point. I have a feeling it'll be someone better.
Yeah.
But, my main thing is that it just seems to me that in every possible decision, she voted to remove constitutional rights from people, and I don't know why. She went further and further and further left every time.
Right, yep.
I'm sure there's plenty of decisions in there that I would agree with, or she's just a very down-the-middle, reasonable judge, but when there was something political about it, it just seems like she always voted towards the left, which was going to, of course, remove rights. There's not a lot of ways around it. Or obstructed legitimate businesses. I'm sure, like, for example, anything that Trump did, right? Like, for example, he tried to get rid of DACA program the same way that Obama created it, just by executive order. And they're like, well, no, you can't do that. It's like, but the last guy did exactly that.
Yeah, to put it in
You
place.
said nothing about it.
Yeah, for sure.
So some of the courts, like in that respect, were pretty biased. I don't think she was any better.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. And then, yeah, but putting her death aside for a second and looking at the
Well,
future.
let's look at the results of this. Trump says he wants to put someone in there immediately, which I agree with. I didn't like when Mitch McConnell held up the last Merrick Garland, I think it was. I didn't like when that was held up. I think they should have held the vote and just turned him down.
2016. Yeah.
They had the Senate, control the Senate. If you don't like the guy, turn him down. Say submit someone new. But instead, they just held it off. So wait for the election. That was kind of slimy.
Yeah, it was. I agree. Because it is. That's their job.
Yeah, it's their job to vote on this stuff. It's his job to nominate them. Obama's job to nominate them, and their job to vote on them. They should have just voted no. They didn't like him. Vote no.
Yeah, and then they could have done that, and it would have been fine.
I think they could have got away with it just fine. But they chose not to. Which
was
I think
wrong.
In this case, Mitch McConnell. I mean, if he totally flip flops, because his opinion was because the Senate and the presidency were in disagreement that they shouldn't do it. Okay, fine. I don't agree with that, but whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but if he says now that the Senate and the presidency are executive or in agreement, that now we can go ahead and do a vote on it.
He already
last time.
He did say that.
Yeah. But I'm saying if that's the line he goes with for this entire
Oh yeah. About why he didn't allow last time, but yeah.
He'll allow this. That's fuck you, dude. That's so.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's not a good excuse. If even if there is some philosophical, legal, or constitutional merit to what you're saying, it looks hypocritical as crap, and it doesn't make any sense really.
Yeah, it does.
I'm sure he has a good way of justifying it. I'm sure he has a real slimy way of justifying it.
Yeah.
But I don't like it. I don't dislike Mitch McConnell entirely, but this is one of those things where it's like the Republican establishment just has some problems, man.
Yeah, it does.
They just have some problems. They're just kind of gross people. And this is a good example of that, where it's like, I don't really see the point of pretending this isn't what it is, which is a political move. We're trying for political benefit to get someone we want on the court. Just admit it. Just be like, this is, the Supreme Court's becoming battleground for politics, and we're gonna play it that way.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the consequence. Don't worry about the fallout from the left, because the left already thinks you're evil. The left already thinks you.
Yeah, exactly.
Sacrifice babies to the spirit of Hitler or something. So it's like, why would the left care at this point? I mean, they'll care. They'll get enraged, but I mean, why would it? Why would it be any serious breach of conduct? Yeah. Or social contract. It's just social convention. It just, who gives a crap? So if Mitch McConnell, if you're listening, don't make excuses. It is what it is. You didn't like the last guy that was put up there. You didn't want Obama deciding. You wanted the next guy to decide. So you held it off.
Yeah.
I think you should have just voted no. And kept doing that.
Yeah.
Until you found someone you actually agree with being, put in there.
Yeah.
Or the next president was elected, regardless. So yeah, it's just that's the interesting thing with this is that it looks slimy. It looks bad for the Republicans because last time in 2016 what they did now it's going to look bad for the Republicans. And I think they have to take the hit because this is more important than looking good or bad. It's more important than the presidency. This person's going to be in there for a long time. So get someone in there, get a good conservative majority on there that's going to vote, in favor of the Constitution. That's actually going to interpret the document properly.
Yeah, as it was written.
Yeah, because you're not going to make up some crap to get another Roe v. Wade passed. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I think that at this point in time, the Supreme Court actually, generally speaking, I think is really important, perhaps more so than the presidency.
Yeah, it definitely
it can be. Not always.
It could be. Yeah.
But in this case, I think there's definitely worth it because Trump has already accomplished a really good amount of stuff, and if he loses this election, it's going to be hard to undo some of the really good things he has done.
Yeah.
I think another 4 years of him would solidify some of the stuff, like the economy, like foreign policy, probably be more solidified. For another 4 years of him. But I mean, generally speaking, he's done a pretty good job now. If he ends up being a one-term president, so be it. We'll definitely if Biden survives 4 years of being a puppet, we'll run someone that'll kick his ass next time.
Yeah. Well, he
said
he's not
going to run. Yeah, I know.
He said he's not going to run in 2024. So.
But Kamala probably will.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We will eat her alive.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You want to play this one-term president game?
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to get really nasty every 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But generally, as far as the election goes, I don't, because this is the interesting thing. Her death is what it is. It's unfortunate. A human being died.
Yeah.
Nothing really to celebrate there. But the political ramifications of it are interesting because now you have a similar situation in 2016. You have going into the election a vacancy on the Supreme Court. So that's always interesting to see. I think they're going to try and put someone in there. I just don't know if they'll be able to. I don't know to what extent the Democrats in the Senate will be able to gum up that process.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they're down a senator because Kamala Harris is campaigning.
Yep.
So maybe I don't know if that helps too much, but maybe this is an easy.
I'm sure it'll help a little bit.
Yeah.
Because then Kamala won't be there to accuse whoever it is of gang rape, and if it's Amy Barrett, I feel like she would still do it.
Yeah, she would.
Of gang rape.
She's like, and here is a dragon dildo you strapped on before you violently assaulted those black women.
Yeah, some bullcrap nonsense.
Should pull out one that really has Kamala Harris on it, like on the little tag.
Yeah. No, but I think he should do. I think he should not do. I think he should nominate Amy Barrett or Amy Coney Barrett.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like you were saying, 'cause she's really awesome and she's very.
Well, I just think you can get around the.
strong.
First of all, I don't want a political appointment. Like, generally speaking, I understand why some people in the Senate were chosen because they are good legal minds.
Yeah.
But I want someone that's in recent years been a judge. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
That's nice. So I think for the circuit courts makes a lot of sense. Secondly, she's not super political. I mean, she is like she'll become political. Trust me.
Yeah.
But at the moment, she's her flaws, if any, are going to be the fact that she's extremely religious. But I don't consider that a flaw. It's a good. No. I don't consider it a flaw, but I know exactly how it's going to be used against her. She's a pretty Catholic person, pretty strict Catholic woman. I don't see having a good Christian center as a problem for the moral character of a judge. We're based on British common law, which is very thoroughly English. Like our judicial system is definitely has Christian influences from England and from just the way we set up our country initially with this premises of every man equal before God, all that good stuff. Innocent until proven guilty. Like it's a pretty Christian legal system. I don't have a problem with a good Christian scholar and judge having a seat on the bench. It makes perfect sense to me.
Oh yeah, and I think she'd be a good choice. And the good, or in addition,
you know
to
what? Honestly, the
the
best angle of attack is saying she's Catholic and she rapes small boys.
Yeah, but she's not a Catholic priest though.
She's not, but she is Catholic. But she is Catholic, so we can stretch that.
I mean, they can try. It's not going to work.
I won't fall for it, but I will find it hilarious.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be funny. I'm going to laugh at it and see how absurd it is. But yeah, no, it's pretty. I think that it's a good choice, not just because of her experience and the fact that she's very much like constitutional.
Dude, I am shocked that Trump hasn't declared himself a woman yet, so he can get around a bunch of this crap, like similar stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that would. Oh man, I can only imagine how nuts the media would go.
Like if I ever run for political office and this bullshit gender theory is still being pushed, I promise you I will run as a bisexual. As
a trans woman.
No, as a bisexual penguin.
A transhuman. Or no, sorry, trans penguin.
Trans penguin. There you go.
Yeah, trans penguin. Yeah. No, but yeah.
But only in the mornings.
I'm
I'm species fluid. So
there you go.
In the afternoons, I'm a woman.
Yeah. No, but I think more so. Yeah, more than the fact that she's has a pretty good record. She's been a judge recently. Is that it does somewhat limit the attacks that they can make on her, like they did.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is she clerked really for Scalia, so we know that generally speaking, she's been around a lot of good judges. So, I mean, I think we think that. Yeah, justices in this case. I think that we have a reason to believe she's going to be an excellent Supreme Court justice.
Absolutely.
She has all the credentials, all the bona fides, and she's also, generally speaking, just in the way her decisions are written and whatnot, seems to be pretty strict about following the Constitution. It's almost like she takes the job seriously or something.
Yeah.
Isn't that odd?
Which is very weird in this day and age. But yeah, and then it does limit, like we said, the amount of attacks that the left can come with. Like they're not going to be able to go as hard at her Or at least I don't know how they're going to be able to come out
Only as a religious
with
zealot.
the same intensity as they did Kavanaugh. I don't know how they're going to be able to do
It'll be more intense, but it'll only be like the religious stuff, and it's just not. It's going to fall on deaf ears.
Yeah.
Like the rape stuff was more interesting, I guess. You know, more worth like taking seriously to an extent than going, she's like Catholic or something, which means she's like believes in God and things and religious zealotry, separation of church and state.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the day when they argue that separation of church and state means that no one who is a member of a religious group or organization is allowed to run for office. It can only be atheists that run for public office. I'm waiting for that argument because holy crap.
Oh, yep, because then you'll be like, bet, let's go.
No, I'll be like, okay, well, you've just disqualified everyone on the right, more or less, because we, generally speaking, believe in something.
Yeah.
Not all of us are Christian, but a significant portion of us are spiritual or religious.
Yeah, or like agnostic or whatever.
Well, agnostic would be fine. But I mean, a lot of us are theists or just spiritual, generally speaking.
Yeah.
But then the vast majority of us are Christian, though, on the right.
Yeah, it's a very large amount.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, probably like 85% of the right wing is probably Christian.
Probably. And, that, of course, that is an estimation. We're just throwing that out there, but probably.
Estimation, yeah. It's just a guess.
We don't have any stats, so we're not going to look them up, because that's not
But I mean, seriously,
important.
I expect that argument to be made with her. That because of her
probably
religion,
will be,
because of her
that's
groups,
really the only way that they can attack her.
Well, specifically because she's so entwined with religion. She's so she has a membership to some religious groups. She's very devoutly Christian. That they're going to be like, well, that's separation of church and state. You can't have Christian people as judges. It's like, man, that would almost work if you didn't have Christian ideas in like as the basis of our law.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it's already there.
Thou shalt not kill. There you go.
I don't even mean that, because you can find that in a lot of different societies. But
innocent
until proven guilty, equal before the law, that's totally Christian.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So.
All right, and then
Blackstone. I think it's Blackstone's formulation. The whole better to let 100 guilty people go than to wrongly convict one innocent person.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's straight. That's Sodom and Gomorrah. Like straight up.
Yeah, it is.
Like it's very, very. It's precisely biblical.
Yes.
So.
100%.
Sorry, but a lot of our legal foundation is Christian. I don't see a problem with having a Catholic in there. As a general rule, I don't actually have a problem with Catholicism, the doctrine. I just dislike how it was practiced in Europe, where they were so authoritarian.
Yeah.
You know, like, no one can read the Bible but us. Only we can interpret God's word for you. And pay an indulgence, you'll get into heaven. And this and this. And let's go kill all the Protestants. Like, I mean, they're assholes. It's the European, the European Catholic Church for a while, like the entirety of it, and anywhere it was being established in any part of the European subcontinent, was really shitty. Mm-hmm. Romans, any influence of the Catholic Church in any other part of Europe was not good. There were some good effects of it. I mean, because again, there were some legitimate teachings coming out of that were actually good. Yeah. That's the problem with claiming that you're Christians. You occasionally have to teach things that are in the Bible, which means you teach good things. So So you had an intense focus on truth, which ultimately came back to bite them in the ass because their authoritarian rule required that they lie to people. Yeah. So you had people like saying the sun is not, saying that the Earth isn't the center of the galaxy or the universe. Actually, the sun is, which still isn't totally correct, but at least they identified that the Earth goes around the sun. Yeah. That was a problem. The Earth not being flat, that's a problem. Lots of things are a problem for the Catholic Church. Yeah. And instead of being like, oh, good job, guys, we told you to pursue truth, and you invented the scientific method, and it looks really good and great, they're like, no, that's against the Church. Burn you at the stake. So it's like, Catholic Church kind of sucks ass. So I'm not thrilled that she's Catholic, but the doctrine itself is not exactly an issue. It really comes down to the organization. So as long as she's willing to go, okay, the Catholic Church was wrong here, as long as she's a principled Catholic, they'll be like, okay, these are, like, for example, Matt Walsh is a Catholic, and that dude is not going to sit there and defend the Catholic Church on a lot of issues. He's criticized them in multiple cases. Yeah. I think Knowles is Catholic. Yeah, he is. He's very clear when he criticizes them. I wouldn't say regularly, but I've heard him do it multiple times. Yeah, where he criticizes some of their choices. You can be a principled Catholic. I don't think it's a problem.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The doctrine itself is not necessarily the issue. It's just the organization can be really corrupt.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, and then
so I would
two
like
last
to see her.
things. Yeah, definitely would like to hear. Two last things on Ruth before we move on. Is that there are people who are saying there are going to be riots if
I thought there were going to be riots
try to appoint
regardless.
somebody.
She's just going to be an additional. Here's my
Yeah,
thing.
well, yeah.
I have to disagree with the theory on that because we've already proven, Trump has already proven he's willing to shut the riots down.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He's gotten them to back off a lot. I think that if they start riots over that, he's going to shut it down.
Oh, yeah,
and they're
yeah.
going to claim it's
he
tyranny,
did say
but
that,
it's not tyranny. It's both. That's just him not allowing you to violate other people's rights.
Yeah, 100%. But people were actually, like this one guy, he said, if they even try to replace RBG, we burn the entire effing thing down. And then, yeah. So,
oh, we get it. So that's so transparent, though, that you have to have the Supreme Court vote your way every single time to believe this is a country worth living in or a system worth supporting. Tells me immediately that you don't actually respect the Constitution whatsoever. It's purely political, purely partisan, the way you want this government run.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then this other
it's not worth taking these people seriously is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And then this other person said if McConnell jams someone through, which he will, there will be more bigger riots.
Do it. No, seriously, do it.
Yeah.
Riot over a constitutionally sanctioned practice.
Yep.
Something that is perfectly legal, that is required by law. You have to replace vacancies. Do it. Riot over that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Push the middle of the country farther and farther away from you. Do it. See what happens.
I'm so upset we don't have. I mean, I wouldn't say upset. What I'm concerned about is the fact that when these riots broke out, you didn't have a bunch of people coming out just shooting looters.
Yeah.
Why? You have a right to own a gun in this country. You have a right to not have your property destroyed. Why are there not more dead looters?
Yeah.
Like, sorry, that comes off as extremely cruel, but if that had happened really early on, if like 30 or 40 people had died like the first night of looting, like in something like Minneapolis or whatever, it'd have been done. People would have gone, oh crap, they'll defend themselves. We need to not do this.
Although it does sort of make sense as to why, because they're
not gun owners in the inner cities. Like a lot of these businesses, a lot of these liberal people, they're not gun owners. They own these businesses in the inner city and whatnot, and they vote Democrat. They don't own a gun.
Yeah.
They don't. Maybe they don't even believe in the right to self-defense. Maybe they're just too scared to exercise that right. But if you had just, not to be rude, not to be cruel, but if you had 20 or 30 looters die immediately, we could have saved ourselves so much trouble.
Yeah. For sure. And so much, and we could have saved all those businesses, money.
Yeah, keep saying we're gonna riot here, we're gonna riot there, we're gonna riot anywhere we can. Riot in my neighborhood, see what the fuck happens.
Oh yeah. I actually
try and victimize my neighbors and see what the fuck I do.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, if people start rioting near my neighborhood,
fuck around and find out.
As soon as they get to my house, and if they threaten me, not only am I going to be shooting them, my wife is going to be shooting them, which is worse because she's a better shot than I am. So. But she might actually be being a good shot might put them down quickly. Your inability to shoot accurately may have them bleeding out for a couple minutes. So that's true. You're right.
Let's give you all the ammo and just make sure suffering is intense.
Yeah. But and I actually do want to get a sign.
Again, I'm not saying be violent. Don't be violent. I'm saying that
no.
If they come onto my property or they come near my neighbor's property or my building that I live in with the intent to burn it and rob it, I will not watch that happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And I actually do want to get a sign that says.
I want to get one of those things where I've seen signs. Not signs. I think you know what I'm talking about. The signs they have where it's like a little piece of iron or a piece of steel spitting off there, so you can hang a pistol on it, and the sign just says, "We don't call the police in this household."
No. That's not where I'm going with this. It says, I want it to say, "If I miss my shot with my rifle, my wife won't," or something like that. If I miss my shot, then my wife won't, or something like that, because she is an incredibly good shot. It's incredible how good of a shot she is, and she hasn't
appreciate
really
your
been shooting for very long.
emphatic support for this, Wyatt, but I think just a simple stay off my property would do. I'm looking for more intimidation than a blanket statement about the accuracy of my significant other.
I just really like the idea of having that sign. So
just stick a Trump sign in your yard with a "We don't call 911."
Nope. I'm not putting a Trump sign in my yard because I don't want it to be stolen. Because I don't want to replace them.
No. The Trump sign is supposed to be stolen. That's the idea. See, people have come up with these lots of clever ways to do this. My favorite thing is thumbtacks. But basically, you can booby trap the crap out of that sign and just put a camera on it. And, oh my God, that would be amazing. I'll do it for you.
Nah, I'm good.
It's
a Trump flag. It's not even a sign. It's a flag.
No, but I'll do you a sign, and I will booby trap the shit out of it. Hook a car battery up to it, We'll shock the crap out of someone.
Oh yeah, do a who is it? Jaeger who does that in Siege, I think.
I'm not making a Siege reference, but I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'm saying that we will booby trap your sign in the comment section below. If you want to booby trap a sign at Wyatt's yard, and see if we can capture footage of it and put it on the channel, tell us, okay?
All right.
We absolutely will.
Do it in
That would be
case.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Have you seen the compilation of videos people go up to grab signs and they're like electrocuted, or this one guy tried to grab like a sign and it had a some sort of chain on it, so he couldn't pull it.
I saw one where
had one where it would like set off like fireworks. It was some sort of explosive. I don't know if it was fireworks, but you hear pops after he pulls the sign out of the ground. I saw that. Then I saw one where he just had a guy had thumbtacks all over it, like on the back. So when he went to grab the back of the sign.
Yeah, I saw one where they were getting shot at with I think BB guns.
Yeah. Someone came out with airsoft guns like.
Yeah.
And the other one was paintball guns. Yeah, I did see that one too. Where
Yeah,
it was like 3 dudes come out and they just nail a guy with paintball guns.
Yep.
That was amazing.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. But
that was amazing, dude. I mean, but generally speaking, like I would like to booby trap a sign.
Yeah. So if y'all want to do that,
I just find it funny when karma hits like immediately.
We will do that because I find that really hilarious. And then one last thing on RBG. So Trump's reaction was very tame and respectful, which.
Yeah, he's generally speaking a much more gracious person.
Yeah.
He made a pretty, I would say, presidential response.
Oh yeah, for sure. Which is good, you know, because it really does show like some people like, look, the first thing that he said was not, oh okay cool, let's fill a spot. No, it was, wait really? Did this just happen? And then he's like, oh wow, well he said she was an amazing woman. She had a really successful career and all this, which I don't even agree with the fact that she was an amazing woman. I don't know about that.
I wouldn't disagree with it because I do think she's a very accomplished.
Yeah, I guess.
A very accomplished judge.
Yeah.
She taught at a bunch of really prestigious universities. She's
been
in the Supreme Court. I mean, she did things that
very successful.
that are pretty incredible for any person to do.
Mm-hmm.
But her legal opinions are trash.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was
not always. I'm sure she has. Again, I'm sure I can find something that I agree with her on. That's the other thing is when we're talking about this Ruth Bader Ginsburg or Trump or whenever we talk about the people, it's important to remember that if you're being sold a picture of like unidimensionality, or like where it's just like there's only they're wholly bad or wholly good, that's propaganda. Yeah, it's important to recognize that no one is wholly good or wholly bad.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I'm sure holy lizard. Yes, I'm sure that there is something Ruth Bader Ginsburg did that I could probably agree with.
Yeah.
At the moment, I think her career was a net negative for the country.
Yeah. And then even Kayleigh McEnany was being respectful. She said the flag is at half staff here at the White House in honor of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a trailblazer for women. So even Kayleigh McEnany.
Some of her women's rights work I probably wouldn't disagree with, like back in the 70s and whatnot, 70s, 80s.
Right. Yeah.
I probably wouldn't disagree with that. I mean.
Yeah.
Because my opinion is after the first wave of feminism, you didn't really need any more, because you got the laws more or less where you wanted them.
Yeah. Right.
But I guess there was something to be fought for, maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, second wave feminism made more sense than third wave does, third and fourth. But it's still, I felt it was kind of like, okay, well, I don't really know what the issue is here.
Yeah.
First wave made the most sense. We want to vote, we want equality under the law.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, but you don't really, and you still don't. Yeah, most women didn't support that, by the way. The suffrage movement, I think it was like 50-something% of them didn't support it.
Oh, wow.
And that was because the way it was drafted, the legislation they want put forward to give women equality under the law, to allow them to vote, would also require them to sign up for the draft.
Ah, yeah. Right.
And see, this is the thing that people don't realize. Women aren't stupid. I know, shocking. But
Truth. Fact check.
I know.
True.
I know. You may have thought otherwise, and you have a lot of evidence to believe what you might have believed before. But I'm telling you right now, and this again,
they're not
massively shocking. Women have these things called brains. Now they may not always use them correctly, as do most men though. So
yeah, men definitely don't either. There's a reason why women live longer than men in a lot of cases.
That actually doesn't do with it.
We do stupid shit.
No, actually it doesn't. That's actually nothing to do with it.
Okay, well,
that's actually
anecdotal.
Yeah, but that's actually physiological. It's very, very interesting.
No. I was just speaking mostly just because we do really, really stupid shit.
Yeah, I don't think that's the issue. I mean, like, generally speaking, women just generally do live longer. It's just a matter of physiology. It's how bodies do.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying men do a lot of stupid shit.
I don't think they do. I don't think men do stupid shit. No, I think we do. I think we're just crazy and explorative. And if we didn't have that instinct, you wouldn't have settled the West. You wouldn't have done anything interesting. So, you call it stupid shit. I call it an extenuation of the pioneer spirit.
Well, I don't know, man. I have a story.
If you have to say hold my beer, then you're probably doing something worth doing.
Hold on, Andrew, hold on. So,
you're not going to convince me with this.
One of my brothers, he literally got completely naked and went shrieking all the way up to a Taco Bell window, picked up the food, and then ran off down the street.
See, that is phenomenally funny, therefore not stupid.
Oh my gosh, no! It's funny and stupid at the same time.
But if it's funny,
can be true at once.
It's funny and the intention was to be funny, then is it really that stupid? It clearly got the intended result.
I guess, but
if it works, is it stupid? My answer, no. Hence the high point.
Okay.
They may be ugly, but they're not stupid. They work.
Yeah. Okay.
For example, Ted Cruz before the beard. Stupid? No. Because he works.
Yeah.
He's better. That will be the meme for this, by the way. I'm sure you've always seen the thumbnail, but that will be the thumbnail.
Yes.
Because I was reminded that existed, and now I insisted on putting it on this episode.
Yeah. It's
Ted Cruz Dog. If you haven't seen that, look it up. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny. See, we can make fun of people on our side.
We can. It's doable. It's reasonable. And we can also criticize him heavily, like McConnell and him being a dipshit.
Yep.
But I think back to this topic, women aren't stupid. And so back to the suffrage movement. Again, I think we're talking about the Ginsburg general women's rights stuff. But I mentioned an interesting... I'm trying to circle back to where the fuck we were. But I mentioned an interesting fact. Most women didn't support the suffrage movement initially. And their reasoning being that they didn't want to sign up for the draft. Mm-hmm. But again, because they're not idiots. Like, they're aware of the issues. Like, when they don't necessarily... Women... This is what I'm trying to tell Democrats. This women don't just go, oh, I have a vagina. Well, I guess I got to vote this way. That's not going to work. Sorry. Some people actually have pretty deeply held religious or political convictions, and they understand what's being proposed. Like, they can read.
Yeah. So,
if you're a woman out there and you're a Republican or you're conservative leaning, good job. Mm-hmm. You're thinking for yourself, unlike a significant portion of white college-educated women, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Is what it is, right?
Yep, for sure.
Don't be a Karen.
Yep, don't be a Karen.
Don't be. That's the only thing I'd say. Advice to women: don't be a Karen.
Yep.
You can pretty much get away with everything else but being a Karen. That's irredeemable.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
I think we've wrapped up.
Yeah.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
We
point
have.
is she's passed away. Some serious political ramifications.
Yep.
And specifically the election
of this podcast. Yeah, for sure. And
the election being the biggest one
of this podcast that he should nominate Amy Coney Barrett.
Yeah, because she's kick-ass.
Yep.
Very. Right. I think she's super pro-gun, so I would love to see.
Yeah.
I'd love to see like an openly just uber pro-gun person on the Supreme Court.
Yeah, that would be nice. That way,
people that go to like. Also, I don't think she went to an Ivy League school. I think she might be the first Supreme Court justice to not have gone to like an Ivy League school. She went to like Notre Dame for her law degree.
Okay, dude.
So we're getting
so much winning.
This is sort of like that's more the theme of getting rid of the establishment, like finally getting rid of some of this crap.
Yep.
Speaking of Ivy League schools, have we mentioned Princeton being under investigation?
Not yet, but that is in the miscellaneous.
Okay, well, since it's I'll just tell you right now.
Yeah.
So Princeton wrote an open letter, the president did, talking about how evil and awful and racist American society is. Now, Princeton's just like that. They're awful. They're systemically racist at Princeton. So the Department of Education wrote them a letter, said, okay, well, now you're under investigation because you're saying you're engaging in racist practices. Well, that's a violation of Title VI. So you can't get federal funding if that's true. Which means you're going to have to return your money you got from the federal government. At the very least, we're going to cut off your funding if this is in fact the case. So he has to publicly say he's a racist to get the BLM crowd to not, and privately say he's not.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Oh yeah, it was really funny.
I'm glad they're calling the bluff. Okay, you're a racist, but you don't get federal funding if you're a racist. Turns out this country isn't racist. We don't give money to racists. So if you're a racist,
stop it.
If you are a racist,
yes,
institution specifically. If your institution is racist, then we're not giving you money. So, fuck yeah, Department of Education, like, first thing you ever did right.
Yeah.
On topic 3, this is going to be more of a general issue, because I think we've also, not to put blame on other media sources, because we're guilty of this too, but no one really talks about Trump's record on child trafficking. Like, it's not mentioned very much, but he's extremely good on it. And
he is.
Again, we haven't mentioned it either, but last week we did the episode, and we forgot to mention during that week's episode how many kids have been saved in these various operations to stop human trafficking. I think it was at that time it was 70-something kids over a weekend. We have 40 in Georgia and another 30 or something. What was it? 25?
25
in Ohio. So I mean that was in this week. So it's no one really talks about it. So
no. This is not this week. This was so the one from Georgia was on August 28th, and then the one from
that one of these was super recent though.
Was on September 2nd.
No, there's one that was way more recent than that. I can't remember what it is.
Those are the only two we
didn't get the link for it, regardless. I could have sworn it was one of those this weekend or whatever. Not this weekend, but last weekend.
Maybe.
Regardless, not important. The point is, we haven't talked about it, so we're going to talk about it now. Trump is amazing on child trafficking.
Yeah.
Way better than a lot of other people before.
He's had several, executive orders regarding this stuff.
Regarding funding for task forces and whatnot and things like that. He's been pretty good about it, so... I think he deserves some credit for that. I think that's one of those things. It's one of those policy things no one talks about, because we're always talking about how Trump's, his attitude, the way his personality, his public appearances, but his policy positions aren't often discussed actually, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
So this is one of those things again he's not getting credit for. I think he should.
Yeah, for sure.
Any thoughts on it?
I mean, it's good that these children are being rescued from being trafficked and everything, and it's great, and it's awesome that Trump's doing it, and I don't know how good Obama's record on it was, but
mediocre. It wasn't any better or worse than anyone else.
Okay, well,
but Trump's made a concerted effort to go after it, so that was nice.
Right, yeah, and if it, I do want to say that if Obama did the same thing, I would praise him as well, because it's always a good thing to go after.
Sex trafficking.
To go after sex traffickers, it's a very good thing to do that. And it really isn't that talked about that much outside of Epstein, and it's mostly just
Yeah, and that's the other thing is Epstein's interesting, but I think that's one of the theories is after they got Ghislaine Maxwell in jail, all of a sudden a bunch of kids started getting rescued, so they're like, is she feeding them information?
Probably.
That was one theory. I don't know if that's the case or not, but I know that
that's possible. Yeah,
I know it's possible, but I also know that Jeffrey Epstein's a good example. He's one of the largest child sex traffickers, but it's him being arrested as part of a general trend in the Trump administration to crack down on this behavior. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's move on to peace in the Middle East.
Yes. So
no shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's the biggest story probably ever.
Yeah.
I can't believe we haven't covered it in more detail. Because I think last week we had details we could have covered about the deals and whatnot, and we just briefly mentioned it. But I think we should have been more emphatic about it.
Yeah, I mean...
More enthusiastic, more sycophantic, perhaps.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Holy
this is really awesome stuff. Yeah, this is really awesome. And
well, it's become exponentially more awesome since we were talking about it last week.
Yeah, for sure. And
because last week we were talking about 2 countries, potentially 3 or 4 more, maybe 5, and now we're talking about 9. Oh no, last week.
Oh,
and now we're talking about 9 more. Saudi Arabia possibly, definitely have Bahrain and UAE. They just signed the deal, so we're talking about way more. It's just exponentially better. To continue, too much winning.
Yes, exactly. Too much winning.
I can't handle the winning.
Yeah, it's too much. Trump was right.
You're gonna win so much, you'll get sick of winning. You get tired of it.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly what's going on.
That's how I felt this whole time, actually, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe I'm ready to vote for Biden. I'm just too tired of winning. I can't handle it.
That's the turning point.
Dude, can Michael Knowles write a book, Reasons to Vote for Biden? Too tired of winning.
Oh, yes. There we go.
That should be the only... I think it should be a 300-page book with only the first page being too tired of winning.
Yep. Yep.
The rest should be blank.
And if he doesn't do it, we will.
We will publish
No.
a book with that. Yes.
Nah, we don't have the resources for that.
Well, you can self-publish pretty easily.
Yeah.
I don't
really?
think. I mean, if you wanted, we could probably get like 100 copies made and just see how it sells.
Mm. Yeah, it would be pretty funny.
I would buy a copy just because it'd be amazing.
Oh yeah, that would be great. I mean, I bought Knowles's Reason to Vote for Democrats book. I bought it.
It's good.
Yeah, it's great.
It's amazing.
If you haven't read
I love the reviews.
It's a really
of the book, 'cause
easy
the
read.
reviews of the book are so detailed. There's like
Those-
they're like full essays like on how good it is.
Yeah.
And it's a totally blank book. Oh.
I love how Trump praised it as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ben Shapiro, a very thorough read.
Yes.
Oh man.
Which I know that took a lot of Ben to be able to say that, because we all know.
I don't think
how
it
much
did, because
Ben-
he got famous. Michael Knowles got famous off that book, so Ben may not have
Yeah.
really known Knowles before that.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. But
That was the other thing. Knowles is like keeps
now he
talking.
hates him.
Knowles talks about it a lot. He's like, he's the only person in the Daily Wire to have not really written a book, and the only book
Yeah.
he did write was a blank book, and he got famous off it. So
yeah. No,
good
but,
stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely good stuff.
Back to the peace in the Middle East.
Yep. Yeah, back to that. So it's,
So which
it's
countries
very,
were you discussing? Why? Because again, we mentioned about 9 possible countries. He didn't mention them by name. He said there were 9
No.
possible countries.
Yeah,
But
he said 9
he also
possible,
said
including
Saudi Arabia. Yeah, but he said Saudi Arabia was discussing or considering
Yeah.
signing on to the deal, and that they had at the very least allowed Israel and UAE to fly through their airspace.
Yep.
So let's go into some more detail about that. I know you were following this a bit more closely than I was.
Well, it's more so that's pretty much the extent of as far as Saudi Arabia, but is that it seems that like that is
Yeah.
probably imminent.
And we keep saying peace deal, peace deal, peace deal. What are the terms of the peace deal? Yeah, I don't think we've
So-
explained to the audience what the terms of it are.
Hold on, so I'll just go ahead and read this article that we have. So, on Tuesday, President Trump celebrated 2 massive Middle East peace deals between Israel and the Arab nations of the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain. Is that how you say it?
I think it's Bahrain.
Yeah,
Bahrain.
I think it's Bahrain.
Bahrain.
All right, and then we're here
It
this
starts with a B. Good enough.
What's up?
Starts with a B. It's the best I can do.
Yeah. Okay, so
I don't
we're
speak
here
terrorist, okay?
Huh?
So I don't speak terrorist, alright?
Yeah. We're here this afternoon to change the course of history. After decades of division and conflict, we marked the dawn of a new Middle East. Trump declared, thanks to the great courage of the leaders in these 3 countries, we take a major stride toward a future in which people of all faiths and all backgrounds live together in peace and prosperity. Yeah, so that was also Trump.
Alright, I'll get to the terms. What are the terms of the deal?
Well, we're getting there.
Hurry the hell up. I want to know.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of already know, but I want the audience to know.
Right.
The articles are, by the way, linked, so we're going to have all this in there. You're welcome to go read all
Yeah.
the stuff yourself, but real quickly, because I don't think we've been talking about this and not really going over some of the terms of it. But
Right, yeah.
generally speaking, this is a normalization of economic relationships, economic and diplomatic relationships. So
Yeah.
they're going to open embassies together. They're going to start trading,
Mm-hmm.
technology, all that good stuff. They're going to work together, I guess, in a security capacity, maybe some anti-terrorism stuff. Or I know the main purpose of this is to gang up on Iran, who everyone
Yeah.
thinks is being ridiculous and has been
Yeah.
way too emboldened. So I know that's kind of the reason for it. That's a big push.
Yeah, that's pretty much you pretty much just hit the nail
But
on
the
the head.
terms of the deal, where I'm talking about the terms.
Yeah.
And the terms of the deal require that Israel not annex any new settlements.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's one of the terms, and that's the big one I remember. The big concession Israel made. It's not really a concession, since I don't think they were planning on annexing anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's kind of like just a half-hearted concession, just
Yeah.
to say that they got something from Israel. You know what I mean? That's just to save face sort of thing. So
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, but if you can pull up the actual deal itself, and let's go ahead and dive into some of the finer details. It's not. I don't think it's a particularly complicated peace deal. It's fairly simple.
Yeah.
But those are the main points I've taken away from the last couple of weeks of talking about it. I think, and if I'm correct, it's UAE and Bahrain or whatever, or the place. They agreed to the same terms, so I think it's the same deal for both of those countries. Then we have Kosovo and Serbia, which I don't know much about. I know the peace deal I don't know if it's been signed yet. I think it's been signed yet. I think it was signed at the same time, somewhere around the same time. I don't know anything about that one. I have no idea what the terms of that particular deal are.
Well,
I just know it's a peace deal.
I don't think that's been signed yet, because I think the only ones that have been signed were the the UAE and Bahrain. I think those were the only two that were signed, because those were two separate ones.
Yeah, well, they're the same terms, though, right? That's the idea, if it's the same terms.
So here's what they say. So 3 separate documents were signed on Tuesday, separate pacts Israel has with the UAE and Bahrain, and general statement with all parties involved, including the United States, which played a key role in the negotiation process. The general statement, titled "The Abraham Accords Declaration," affirms that all the signees agreed to pursue a vision of peace, security, and prosperity in the Middle East and around the world. It also notably includes language about the ties of the 3 Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Islam, Christianity, and the condemnation of radicalization and conflict. A reasonable note about a region whose conflicts have given rise to terrorism. Neither of the individual agreements contain in-depth detail, but the Israel-UAE treaty is more developed because it was announced first, nearly a month earlier. Bahrain announced its agreement with Israel last week and agreed to join the White House ceremony relatively late in the game. In the course of 4 pages, the Israel-UAE document says both nations will establish full normalization of bilateral ties, embassies with resident ambassadors, and cooperation in an array of areas, from investment to tourism to agriculture. It also calls for both parties to foster mutual understanding, respect, and coexistence and culture of peace between their societies in the spirit of their common ancestor, Abraham. And then it says the shorter Israel-Bahrain document says that the countries, in addition to opening embassies for the first time, will hammer out specific agreements in a similarly wide range of areas in the coming weeks. So that's pretty much at least what this article is saying about it. And then it says, why they're significant, which we already. It's pretty damn significant.
Yeah, say the least.
Say. Yeah.
All right, I think we covered that. I mean, again, we'll have more details. Is ideally more countries will join on.
Yeah, which
and we'll keep you updated on that for sure. It's just that at the moment there's not a lot going on. Like you said, it's a 4-page document. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple.
And like I said, it does look like Saudi Arabia is probably going to be pretty imminent, because they're already they along with Bahrain, both of them announced at the same time that they were going to open their skies to Israeli flights. So.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Saudi Arabia. I don't know if they'll join on, but they'll at the very least cooperate. They'll respect it.
Yeah, for sure.
So this does seem to be like a reasonable path forward to some meaningful and longer lasting peace in that area. At the very least, tensions have been considerably reduced. So
yeah, for sure. All right, and
I think we're going to our next topic.
Well, no. We're still going to talk about that a little bit, but it's shifted a little bit.
Okay.
I want to talk about this. This is something
I really
I'm
don't
actually
give a crap.
really upset with. So the Democrats and the media reaction have been really gross. I know Andrew doesn't really care about this, but I
couldn't give less of a shit about a exceptionally routine event occurring. No.
I mean,
I expected not a damn thing different. So it's routine frustration, but it's not particularly surprising or egregious in my opinion. It's
I know,
fairly normal.
It just pisses me off because of the importance of it. So so starting off with the Democrats' reaction. So
I'm more pissed with their open endorsement of riots.
Huh?
So I'm more pissed with them with their open endorsement of riots. That was pretty bad.
I didn't see that.
What do you mean? They all endorsed? Like, not a single Democrat politician said that they should stop doing violence in the streets.
Oh, well.
They effectively endorsed it. I think Kamala Harris and Joe Biden outright endorsed it when they tried to post bail for all the rioters who got arrested.
Oh, well.
I mean, that's way more worse to me. That's like American citizens getting fucked over.
Yeah.
This is just them ignoring Trump's achievements, and it's fairly par for the course.
Yeah, I guess, but this still it just really pisses me off. It really grinds my gears. So, first Pelosi she said that the peace deals were a distraction from the whole Palestinian thing. What the fuck are you talking about, Nancy?
Yeah, I kind of feel like Palestine's almost explicitly mentioned in there.
Yeah.
We're not going to annex any additional like settlements things. I think that's a directly saying we're not going to take any more land from Palestine.
Yeah.
Or at least respect our borders as they are.
Right.
Feels like a reasonable recognition of the issue.
Yeah, and then more than that, she also said something about Trump's, his version of a peace deal between Israel and Palestine not coming, but it did come out. It came out last year around this time. So what the fuck is she talking about? This is the first time in a long time. These two times that I just said the F word. This is the first time I've said that word in a long time. But I am extremely pissed about this because it's disgusting.
Yes, make note of it. What?
It's really disgusting, and it's just really aggravating. I know that's par for the course, but it's just really gross.
Yeah, I'm just mocking your over the top hatred of the. It's just. What here is surprising?
It's not surprising. It's just aggravating.
If it's not surprising, they don't have an emotional reaction.
Look, it just pisses me off. Okay, it just does. It just gets my blood boiling because it's one of the biggest achievements that Trump can tout on his because it's the first time that this has happened in a quarter century. That any movement of this, and it's just for them to just blindly just say, "Oh, it's a distraction," really. That's the thing that really pisses me off about it. This is the first time this has happened in 25, over 25 years. That's really the biggest thing for me. But aside from what Nancy said, so the media, they pretty much completely ignored it or whatever for the most part. And there was a White House press conference immediately after they signed the peace agreements or whatever in Washington, and not a single question that the White House press secretary received talked about those deals. Not a single one of them. And then what was really badass was at the end of the press conference, she said, before I leave, what I will weigh into is the Middle East deal. The Middle East deal signed yesterday. Oh, I guess it was the day after. Signed yesterday that I did not receive a single question about. That was the first time it's happened in a quarter century. If Obama and Biden had achieved this, it would look a lot different. You wouldn't have MSNBC's Chuck Todd saying he's comfortable with the deal that brings peace between the United Arab Emirates and Israel and Bahrain. You wouldn't have CBS calling it a business deal. And then she continued, and then she said, and you wouldn't have Nancy Pelosi calling it a distraction. Maybe it's a distraction from her visits to the hair salon. Those were significant agreements. For the first time in a quarter century, 3 peace deals in 29 days. It took 26 years for the prior 2 peace deals. So the Nobel Peace Prize nomination is for the president. 2 of them are very well deserved. So, yeah, I think I just wanted to mention that because I really like Kayleigh McEnany, especially when she does stuff like that. And then one last thing on the whole peace deals thing is you still there?
Yeah, why?
Oh no, I just wanted to make sure that you were still there. And then so
no,
one last thing. Yeah. Okay. And
I'm gone.
One last thing about it, I do want to give some praise to NBC because they actually had they had the balls to it. Well, not the balls, but they at least had the, they had somebody. They didn't have them do this, but they allowed a journalist saying that Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize for the deal or the deals, and then they said it's more than what Obama did, and I'm just like, nope, it didn't pick it up. But claps for you, because like I'm surprised that they actually let him write this and publish it. But yeah, good job. Good job at NBC for letting this be published. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to praise that because at least they let him do that.
Yeah, I don't particularly like talking about the media reaction to things. It's just those people aren't worth my time. That's why I'm doing this, is to be a foil against them. And we have dedicated individuals to harping on the media, and I just don't particularly want to be one of them.
Okay, well, it just pissed me off, so I wanted to mention it.
I'm here to cover the good shit going on in the world, or even the bad shit. I'm here to cover the shit. I'm here to be the news, not harp on them. And well, they're not news, so I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess the interesting point here, where Kayleigh McEnany's point is that it's accurate, is the fact that her statement on how the media would cover it. And
Yeah.
we know this because the Iran nuclear deal happened, and they were like glowing coverage for how long? Like a week? It's like
I don't know.
That was a terrible deal.
I wasn't paying
Terrible deal.
Yeah.
And
it really was.
they praised it up and down. Oh, it's amazing. It's so great. Peace in the Middle East. Yada, yada, yada. A bunch of bullshit. And it's like, all he did was give them a nuke in 10 years. He guaranteed them a pathway to it.
Yeah.
That's all he did.
Yep.
And he just gave them a crap ton of money to continue funding terrorism. Like, fuck you guys, you idiots.
Yeah.
So, I know for a fact that Obama did something similar. He'd be getting ridiculous amounts of praise. But he would deserve it, though. Here's the thing, is he would deserve it. But when he doesn't deserve it, he gets a similar amount of praise.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's absolutely, I mean, again, that's why I don't like harping on the media, but the media bias is so obvious that's not worth talking about anymore. But this is just interesting. It's like, I can tell you for a fact he would get the same, way more praise. Because he did. For a much worse deal.
Yeah, for sure.
So, that's an interesting point, I guess, to know in that particular thing. But I'm done with the media. The media is stupid.
Yeah. And then one last thing. I love Kayla McEnany.
Yeah, she's fun. She makes that an entertaining. She provides entertainment.
Oh, yeah,
on a regular basis.
And I think the thing that the left hates about her most is the fact that she's feisty.
She's actually strong, independent woman.
Yeah, exactly.
No one else
and then she's also extremely beautiful. Like, she's literally a 10. No, you can't even. No, she's a 10.
Nah, I don't have really high standards. She's a solid 9. But I don't really care about her physical attractiveness. She personally.
I'm saying.
I like Sarah Sanders every bit as much. It's just that she personally is an amazing person.
I'm saying that's another reason why the media hates her.
Why did you feel the need to interrupt me there? I want to finish my fucking thought. God damn.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Well, I was defending myself because you said that's
I'm not
not
attacking
you.
you.
About.
I'm not attacking you.
Okay.
Christ. I was trying to finish a fucking thought.
Okay.
Fucking calm down. You rabid bitch. Bro. Okay, let me finish my fucking thought.
Okay.
Yeesh, guys. Comment down below why it's a dick.
Oh, man.
Anyway, my point is I don't necessarily care about how physically attractive she is. It's a nice thing to see, but I mean, Sarah Sanders was amazing in that role, and she's not like a perfect 10 or anything. She's just a pretty standard woman, but she was kick ass in that role. Like every time Sarah Sanders got on TV, something great happened. So, and this is very similar. I mean, she's not exactly like Sarah Sanders because she's a bit more sassy, I think. Sarah Sanders was maybe slightly more professional in the way she beat the crap out of people using her posts. I think our current press secretary, as opposed to our previous, is much more politically minded because she was part of Trump's campaign. She's extremely good at pissing off the media, but I mean, again, Sarah Sanders did a good job of it too. So, I think that the women that Trump chooses to have in that role thus far have been phenomenal. I don't know how he's 100%. Just done that like twice in a row, just like amazing people for that role.
Yeah, 100%.
So I mean, good job to Trump for recognizing talent. I guess being a reality TV star helps.
Yeah, for real. No, but one last thing I did want to say, I don't actually care about that. I was just saying that's
I wasn't attacking you.
Huh?
It's okay.
I know, but I know, but I was just wanted to make that clear in case somebody might have misconstrued
no one's hurting you.
I don't care about that. Hold on,
we're not
Andrew,
attacking you. You're fine.
Let me finish what I was saying.
Fuck you. No.
Oh my God.
That's right. It's annoying, isn't it?
So I was mostly not basically. I was just talking about the fact that that's another thing that the media hates. On top of the fact that she's really awesome, she's really fiery, sassy, and she constantly smacks the media
my only point
around.
is I think they were just as cruel to Sarah Sanders, and I think it's because she just so accurately tears them apart.
Yeah.
Her being beautiful is just an additional pleasure.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. It's an
watching
additional
those
thing
clips
that
of her,
I'm sure they
obliterate people. But I mean, generally speaking, I think that they were equally rough with Sarah Sanders because she was so effective at what she did. She's effective. That's the real problem for the left.
I know. And
that's like the Roger Stone line. When they ask him at the end of that documentary, why do you concern that so many people hate you? And he's like, no, of course not.
Yeah,
because I revel in their hatred. You wouldn't hate me if I wasn't effective.
Right, yeah.
So the fact that she's got so much ire from the left, it tells me something about the caliber of her personality. I mean, she's a phenomenally effective person in that role.
Yeah, and I'm not saying she gets more hate. I was just saying that I know for a fact that it pisses them off more because of how pretty she is. I guarantee you. I'm guarantee you they're just like, God, why does she have to be so freaking pretty and be this hard on us? Like, I guarantee you that's the way they feel inside.
I don't know.
I'm sure that's
it pisses off other women, I'd imagine. I imagine the
yeah.
extremely unattractive women on the left.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of women on the left.
Yeah.
I know that pisses them off.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Seeing happy, successful, married, conservative women who are mothers.
Yep.
Doing phenomenal jobs.
Yeah.
They're like, damn it.
Yeah.
Stop proving my philosophy wrong.
Yeah.
Women
exactly.
need
That's
men
pretty much
like
what I was trying to
fish
say.
need a bicycle. Feminist theory,
Yeah, for sure.
That's the level of people you're dealing with, just so you know.
Yeah.
If you're not
pretty
aware.
much. Yeah. 100%. All right.
All right, I want to move on to these next couple topics are interesting.
Yeah.
This one is funny because it's not funny. Someone got the crap kicked out of them. It's not funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, but it's not actually funny. But it's kind of funny. As the Hodge twins I think the Hodge twins might agree it's funny, even though they know it's fucked up. They have some good compilations of them laughing at really, really messed up crap.
Yeah.
But anyway, so in Minneapolis we have a George Floyd autonomous zone.
Yeah.
So, Electric Boogaloo Part 2.
Yeah.
Or what was it? What is it? No.
What?
Something Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. What was the initial? Whatever. Doesn't matter. Autonomous Zone Part 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go again, man.
Child Shop.
Damn.
Number 2.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But goddamn, this is it's interesting. I don't know how long this one will last because it's just started off very, very badly.
Yeah.
What I'm upset with is like this in like Atlanta is these BLM people moving in and causing all this violence in the areas where these things are occurring. Because like in Atlanta where Rayshard Brooks was shot, they killed a couple people in that area.
Yeah.
Because they consistently
and more
were
than
like
that,
rioting.
They also burned down the restaurant.
Okay, no,
where he got pulled over.
Sorry, burned in the restaurant is not more than killing people. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Just
I
so
know,
you know,
but
that was a terrible way to phrase
saying
that.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was. I didn't say more. I said they also did this.
No, you said more than that.
Oh. Well,
comment down below of why it cares about property more than human life.
Oh my gosh, I do not. I misphrased it. Okay.
I do.
Oh my god.
I'm a capitalist. Fuck your life. Your life means nothing to me.
Oh man.
As long as I can have my nice shiny objects, I don't give a crap whether you live or don't.
Oh man.
Am peak capitalist. Regardless,
Okay.
but yeah.
Anyways.
So, but you know, getting back more to a less disgustingly corrupted frame of view or frame of reference here. Yeah. So in the Rayshard Brooks case, that parking lot where he got shot and everything, and the Wendy's right next to it, they burned that and they rioted all around there. But in that entire area, they continued to riot and to assault people like for days, weeks actually. I don't know if they've ever stopped. And one of the incidents that caught people's attention and got them to realize this was a serious issue over there was when they shot and killed an 8-year-old girl.
Yeah.
I don't know where it was. I think it was on the road, like that has access to the parking lot. Like it's just real close to the same area, but it's in the same general, like, you know, couple block radius of that place, or not even. I don't think it was even that far really. And but they had set up all these roadblocks and all that stuff, and they had made it impossible for people to drive whatever direction they were trying to drive to I guess go where they needed to go. So they blocked off a bunch of the road around there. And so this van had gone to make a U-turn, I guess, gone turn around, tried to get out of that area. Just happened to pass by it because there was no other way to go. And these two dudes were shooting at each other. Two black men were shooting at each other, and I guess in close proximity to the car. I don't know if it was the car was like directly in the middle of them, what the deal was, but a stray bullet killed this 8-year-old girl, and a couple of the people I think were killed during that same shooting. So this reminds me of that, because you're having an area where this horrible thing happened. Although Rayshard Brooks, I wouldn't call that a horrible thing. I'd call that an act of God, pure and perfect in every respect. You have a taser to a cop's face, and you die. I don't see a problem with that.
No.
I don't see an issue with that at all, actually. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry you're a piece of human shit, but I didn't make that decision for you. You did. And you died. Good. So...
Yep. Forfeiting your right to live.
Yeah, you forfeited your right to live, and surprise, surprise, you died.
Yep.
So that's, you know, I don't particularly feel bad about that case. The George Floyd one was actually a lot worse, because the cops were He wasn't really fighting the cops per se. He was resisting arrest, kind of awkwardly. I wouldn't say he was fighting the cops. He wasn't being particularly violent with them. Just unfortunately, it seems like he overdosed, and just having bad place, bad time. Unfortunately for the cops, was accompanied by some bad training.
Yep.
So that's what that looked like to me. But they took around this group, and I don't know exactly who it's comprised of, but they're claiming BLM Allegiance has taken over a few blocks around this area where George Floyd died. Yeah. And I don't know when exactly this started. Let me pull up the article. I think it... Okay, these reports are from yesterday. So these are from Friday around 10:30 a.m. That's when we're seeing some like Andy No talking about it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it says when it started.
Well, Andy No's is usually pretty updated on this. So he was talking about 10:30 at the earliest, maybe like 10 in the morning. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit earlier, but it seems like that. So they took a few blocks. Again, if you go to the article, you can see it. They took a satellite image and they drew a line around the amount of space they've taken. So if you're curious, it looks like about 4 blocks. And they have already beaten a man in that area. Mm-hmm. And we had emergency vehicles trying to get into it, and they blocked them. So, in my opinion, they're actively trying. Exactly. In my opinion, they're trying to kill people now. Pretty much, literally. So this is an interesting story for me because we covered Chop Chaws a little bit. Yeah, it wasn't really a thing by the time that we were starting our podcast. Yeah. But when I was following it extremely intensely because it was really disturbing the crowd that was going on down there. Oh yeah, and if this is allowed to go on, I'm going to feel probably the same way about it. So ideally this situation gets resolved and we stop this crap before it gets out of hand like Chaz did. But at the moment it's looking pretty crappy. Again, maybe some updates have occurred the last day or two, or last day rather. But it seems to me that the police aren't really willing to take it down or to stop them. Yeah. They weren't stopping them before this in Minneapolis all that effectively. I don't think they'll be stopping them now. So, yeah. I mean, the police, to give you an idea of the police in this area, they're releasing information, pamphlets of information on how not to get carjacked. You're supposed to stop that. You're supposed to be stopping crime from occurring. You're supposed to be lowering crime rates, not telling people how to not be a victim. Yeah, that's not how. That's maybe social workers could do that, but you, police department, are supposed to be arresting people like that and stopping these crimes from occurring. At the very least, stopping them from being repeated. But anyway, so that's kind of my feeling on it. That this is going to continue in this area because the police again don't really have any incentive to act. Definitely, the mayor is not, I don't think, in favor of kicking these people out. So, yeah.
I mean, I don't really have much to say other than,
It's fascinating, and that will be a weekly update for sure. I will be following it closely. If this goes on for more than a week, expect at least another update next week, and every week it goes on, I will give you updates from that area. Yeah. Ideally, this wraps up, and we don't have to worry about that. Hopefully, next week I can tell you it's said and done. Not a problem anymore, but I don't have a lot of confidence.
Right, yeah.
So, I think now it's my turn to tell you what I thought about Cuties. Seeing as I did my damnedest not to really watch too much of it. I kind of skipped around like 5-minute segments just through it. Yeah. And that was more than enough for me to tell you I disliked it thoroughly.
All right, let's hear it.
Well, we can talk about how bad it is to sexualize children, how deeply wrong it is to put children in sexually explicit situations. Yeah. It's all good and nice, of course you would say that, but when you actually see people doing that, it's a visceral gut reaction to it. I mean, you can't really put it into words. It's like you just feel extraordinarily disturbed. It's wrong. It's wrong on so many levels. It's wrong on every conceivable rational level and a few moral levels too. Yeah. There's absolutely no excuse for it. There's none. Because if the point of the movie is, and everyone keeps telling me, all the critics went, it's just about, we're trying to discourage this behavior. If you want to discourage the behavior, do not show it for like an hour and a half. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like Andrew Clavin had a good way to put it. Have you ever read the book Lolita, Wyatt? Ever read that?
I have not.
Okay, so it's about pedophilia, more or less. About this relationship with this dude with this child, whose name is Lolita. And the book itself is good because, again, it is an actual reflection about how that's wrong and why it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
The reason the book works is because you didn't have to do that to any children. It's a fictional character.
Right. Yeah.
The reason the movie doesn't is because even if you had put that movie into book format, I probably could have been like, okay, fine, whatever. It would have been, to me, the same as Lolita. But you actually made children do those dances, touch themselves like that, pretend they were doing these things.
Yeah.
So the difference is you did sexualize children, like, period. There's no way to get around it. Mm-hmm. And had you kept it in the book format, it would have been considerably more palatable. Because then I could have read it as a criticism, a proper criticism, and I wouldn't. I could have been like, "Oh, this is terrible and disgusting," which is why you wrote a fictional work about it, because you're not trying to promote that.
Yeah.
Again, I can understand how it's not trying to promote necessarily that sort of stuff, and maybe I could see how you might think the message is to discourage that behavior. The problem is you've made children do that. You've made 11-year-olds do that.
Yeah.
You didn't get older actors to play 11-year-olds. You got 11-year-olds to put on extremely revealing outfits and do like a striptease, basically. Not exactly a striptease. That's not correct.
Yeah.
I don't go to strip clubs, okay? I don't know what the fuck the dances are called.
Right, yeah.
But you got them on stage to be very, to twerk and do all sorts of stuff. That scene was disturbing. And that's the other thing. I think, again, this is going back to Tim Pool's segment on it, where he had probably the best take on it. It was like, okay, I get it. It's supposed to be disturbing. If it's supposed to be disturbing, then why do we need 3 minutes of it? Like, who is your audience really that you need to do 3 minutes of this dance? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of feel like there's some ulterior motives here.
Right.
Regardless, it was extremely disturbing. But again, there are some things in there where it's like, okay, I see the messaging here. Like, you have the Muslim family, the father going off to get a second wife, and they're obviously criticizing that, trying to explain how that's bad. I agree. I'm not a big fan of polygamy. So, fine. Fair enough criticism. The issue with the movie really doesn't come down to messaging. It comes down to the fact that you cast 11-year-olds. So I'm sure you had, I think they said like 250 kids audition. What did you have them do to audition?
Right. That's a good point.
And did you record that? Can we see that? Can we see what you were doing to these children? Mm-hmm. Because I feel like you probably were abusing them.
Yeah. Sexual
abuse.
Yeah.
All right. And secondly, the kids you did pick, you put in front of the world and showed them doing these sexually explicit things. Yeah. Taking pictures of their private parts and posting them online, whatever. Of course, that's all fictional. They're not actually doing that, but they are depicting it.
Yeah.
And you are making children do the dances and whatnot. It's pretty hard to sit there and pretend that this is a criticism worth taking seriously. This is like what about like Jonathan's? You don't do criticism, right? Like kind of satirical criticism, which is I guess what this is trying to be. Jonathan Swift, right? A modest proposal where he says, the rich should just eat the children of the Irish. That would, and pay for them and eat them to stimulate the economy, and it would help people out, and there'd be less Irish, yada, yada, yada. And he's mocking the ruling class of England for being so cruel to the Irish, obviously. Okay. But if he had made a movie where he literally skinned, boiled, and salted a fucking baby, this ceases to be criticism.
Yeah.
You're actually doing the thing.
Right, yeah.
So, if he did like a live demonstration of him flaying a child, could you really say that the message was still good though? No. Mm-hmm. That's a type of performance art that would not be acceptable. And this is what I'm trying to say is that, again, as a book, as a screenplay, whatever, right?
Yep.
Now you've actually made children do this, you are guilty of the thing you're criticizing. Supposedly criticizing. I'm not totally sold in the idea that they're actually criticizing that behavior.
Right.
So that's my final thoughts on it is don't watch it. Don't give it a moment of your time. I very much regret the few clips I subjected myself to. Yeah,
and I really I thank you for doing what I didn't have the guts to do. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's fine. Why? I mean.
Yeah, so I appreciate you doing that. So I didn't have to. All right.
I'm disappointed that the film was exactly as bad as people said it was.
Yeah.
I was hoping for an overreaction, but no, that wasn't the case. It was exactly as bad as you might think it is.
Yeah.
But again, don't take my word for it. If you think that this is a biased review, and it probably is, watch it yourself. I mean, I'm personally recommending you don't, but it's available.
Yeah.
Still,
It's there.
it's still there.
Yeah.
Because some people don't have souls.
Yeah. Yeah. For real.
All right. I think we'll move on to
Yep.
our last couple topics here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we have a couple more. And then
this one's this is a pretty short one though.
Yeah.
Again, I put this one on there. I can explain it real quick because the next one's going to be more. The next two are going to be more you.
Yeah.
So we had a Chinese virologist say that the Wuhan virus is man-made. We've had a couple people, some Nobel Prize winning scientists, say it was man-made. Looking at it, but she released a pretty thorough paper. I couldn't find the link to it though. I don't know if they scrubbed it from the internet or whatever. But in the initial articles I read, also linked her paper that she wrote. It was very long, a lot of scientific jargon that I wasn't really understanding all that well. But the gene sequencing made sense. She showed the pictures, like highlighted them, and be like, "And this is not natural." Yada yada yada. Like, okay, fine, makes sense. Basically claiming that there's no way that thing was natural, no way whatsoever. Like, look at the gene sequence; it's ridiculous. Look at the way, look at the DNA, ridiculous, or the RNA. I think it says, no way that's a natural virus. And she got censored for it. They took her videos off of her Tucker Carlson segment. They removed it from Facebook, and I think YouTube as well. So that was interesting. Just to kind of wrap it up, someone comes out and says it's man-made and provides what she considers evidence. I mean, I didn't, again, understand everything in there because I'm not a virologist. So it looked like evidence to me, and she was censored for it.
Yeah.
But not by, you would think by the Chinese Communist government. No, by us, by our garbage organizations in this country.
Yep.
Shitty tech companies.
Why don't they trust the scientists?
Why don't they trust the scientists, huh? Well, that's the other thing is, Biden in one turn going to trust Fauci, and the next turn explicitly going against what Fauci said. We gotta trust Fauci. I trust Fauci. Fauci's like, well, the vaccine looks good. But I won't take the vaccine. It's under Trump's administration.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other thing is mail-in voting. Well, Fauci said you can vote in person.
Yep.
The hell are you doing?
Yeah.
So trust the scientists, except for the ones that we don't like.
Yeah. And then only whenever they say what we want them to say.
Exactly. All right. So, okay, I think we can move on to the next stuff. Wyatt. This is interesting because this is part of Nashville. I don't know if we discussed it last week, but the Daily Wire is moving to Nashville. Actually, we couldn't have discussed it last week. It hadn't been announced. Yeah. So let's announce it now. Daily Wire, California-based company, moving to Nashville because California sucks ass. Mm-hmm. I think that about wraps it up. Wyatt, why don't you cover this one? This is pretty egregious, actually.
Yeah, so, funny enough, it's not funny, but it's crazy that this came out, like, right after they announced they were going to Nashville. That's kind of weird timing. I'm not...
Yeah?
Not insinuating anything, but it's just weird how that worked. But yeah, so... this it seems that it was a Fox exclusive when it came out? I don't know. It was published by... New York Post. It was published by a Fox affiliate.
Yeah, okay. I can believe that.
WZTV. So basically, on June 29th, there was email correspondence between Benjamin Eagles, the senior advisor to Nashville Mayor John Cooper, asking Metro Nashville Health Department epidemiologist Leslie Walker for countrywide contact for tracing data over the last 14 days. This was back in the late June when these emails were sent. Yeah. And it says, looking to see what sort of activity has been most related to new cases, Eagles wrote, according to the email. Waller, in response, asked for time to pull the data together before writing, and then I guess they said, this isn't going to be publicly released, right? Just info for the mayor's office? Correct? Not for public consumption?
You hear that? They're collecting coronavirus data and not telling you what the data is.
Yep.
So much for transparency.
Yeah. And then, yeah, for real.
Any data on the coronavirus in your county, the local government should be legally required to release. Yeah, for sure. And then a month later, a local reporter asked the health department about a claim that there were only 80 coronavirus cases traced to bars and restaurants. And then it says the figure you gave of more than 80 does lead to a natural question. If there have been over 20,000 positive cases of COVID-19 in Davidson and only 80 or so are traced to restaurants and bars, doesn't that mean restaurants and bars aren't a big problem? The Tennessee Lookout reporter Nate Rue asked, according to WCTV. And the health department official, Brian Todd, then asked 5 health department officials, please advise how you would recommend I respond, according to the news outlet. And one of the officials, whose name was cut off, replied, my 2 cents, we certainly... Yeah, these are screenshot emails that we're looking at here, so there's some information that's been cropped out.
Yeah. And then the the individual said, "My 2 cents. We have certainly refused to give counts per bar because those numbers are low per site." The report said. The response continued. "We could still release the total though, and then a response to the over 80 could be because the number is increasing all the time, and we don't want to say a specific number."
It's so fucking slimy.
Yeah, it's pretty slimy.
Well, this actually gets worse because this is
Yeah, there's some more.
Well, there's more. I mean, there's more to the situation though, like with the mayor
Yeah.
specifically, because the mayor had they had gone from phase 2 to phase 3 in this July. Was it June or July? I think it was July. They'd gone to like phase 3, end of June, something like that, and that's because they're saying, and phase 2 of their plan was a lot more strict than phase 3. So going on to phase 3, they're going to ease some of those restrictions on some of the coronavirus restrictions, let businesses open up a bit more. And he went to phase 3, and then I think within a couple days of July 4th, he went back to phase 2. He gave him like a 3-day notice after they'd stocked up a ton of stuff, after the bars had gotten totally prepped for it.
Yep.
Gave him like a 3-day notice, so that way you can't open your stores, can't open your bars anymore. Going back to phase 2. So that's pretty slummy, pretty scummy. Sorry, there you go. And then here's the other thing that's really interesting about that is that this happened right around the time that a bar owned by Kid Rock, or partially owned, sued him.
What?
So right after he gets sued by this, they get sued. I don't know what the status of the lawsuit is, but they definitely filed a lawsuit against him.
Interesting.
Then he goes back to phase 2. I guess to punish them would be the idea, but it gets even better. He opened up the phase 3. He went to phase 3 just in time for his son to attend a graduation that would not have been allowed under phase 2.
Oh my gosh.
And now that the graduation's over, I guess he can just switch back to phase 2.
What?
That was the idea. That was the idea, right? Since the event was over, people are saying like, well, they opened up in time for him to go to graduation, and then this guy, he got sued by a bar, didn't like what he was doing, and so back to phase 2.
Oh my god.
So the actual story surrounding what this mayor is doing, plus the complete and utter lying he's doing about these bars, is wow. And then you might say, well, how do we know the mayor knew? Maybe he wasn't fully aware. It says in the email, only for mayor's consumption, right?
Yeah.
Just for informing the mayor. Yeah. So all these details, we know for a fact this information is getting to the mayor. It's right in the email that is going to the mayor. So he knows the numbers, son's graduation party thingy, and this bar is suing him, and all of a sudden after the bar sues him, he decides to go back to phase 2.
Yeah.
And gives 3 days notice so he can fuck over every bar that's stocked up on tons of alcohol. It's like, God, why do we trust Democrats with anything?
Yeah.
God, guys, come on, man. God damn it, what the hell? Anyways, that story just is it's bad and then worse and then worser.
Yeah,
when
pretty
you
much.
look at it, it just gets way worse.
It does.
All right, well, let's move on to our ninth topic. I think you have a lot to say on this. I did not see this segment, but I've read this story.
Right. Okay. So, I think it does. They do have the video. Yeah. So both of the. I'm sorry. I don't know if both of them have it. Yeah. So both of the articles that I linked have. Have the video in there, or at least I believe in most of it. So basically. They had Fox News had it's so hard to say his name.
Newt Gingrich.
Yeah, Newt Gingrich on one of their shows, and I'm trying to remember what the question was that they asked.
It's not important.
Yeah. So they asked him a question about violence and rising crime and all this stuff, and then he mentioned how George Soros has been throwing a whole bunch of money into DA races all over the country to elect radicals, and then both of the Fox News hosts told them, hey, there's no reason to bring up George Soros, and then the other person was like, yeah, I agree with blah blah blah. I agree with so and so. Why are we bringing up George Soros? And then they sort of just swept it on the rug. So it's just really weird because usually
Someone's
Fox
getting that
News-
Soros money.
Yeah, really, because it's pretty crazy. I just found that to be really really crazy. To sort of just show that the bias, even though that Fox is more biased to the right, they still I wouldn't even say are that great of a news organization, because they still can do stuff like that. But
Yeah, it's mainstream media. It's mainstream media. I mean, there's
Yep.
just plenty of stuff to be wary of. But it's just funny from Fox. They're like, don't mention George Soros. Okay, well, why?
yeah,
You got a problem with me calling out some dude that's funding a bunch of crap?
yeah,
Weird, but okay.
yeah. And then the host had a really bad excuse. So her excuse was hold on, I have to go back to the bottom of the article. All right, so she said, "So we had a little incident on the show yesterday that was not smooth," she began. "And while I was leading that segment, we had interruptions and I sat silently while all of that played out. Also not ideal." And apparently she said that they didn't censor him and that he was simply interrupted. And then, of course, he didn't explain why, they wanted to not let him criticize George Soros, saying that he didn't need to be brought up. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's weird. It's minor, but it's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely minor. It's definitely not like that big, but it's just kind of like, why? What's going on there? But yeah, and then the rest of what we have is pretty much just little stuff. We already mentioned the Princeton thing. That was kind of funny.
Hilarious. We've
yeah.
linked some videos here to the Trump-Biden town hall. It's really hard to find these. It's really hard to find these. I don't know what it is, but I can't find them. Like, I actually can't find the videos from like ABC and CNN.
Yeah.
Just the full town hall. I don't know if there's a reason for that. I don't think there is, because you go back to the ones like 5 months ago and you can find them. You can find Biden's town halls and all. You can find it's a few months ago you can find them. So
yep.
As near the election, they don't want you seeing more of the candidates because he'll vote for Trump or something.
I guess so.
Because here's the thing: is like I would like to say this is like, oh, they're taking like a little bit to upload the full thing from the live coverage. Like, no, it's been like 3 days.
Yeah,
you could have had it uploaded, but they pretty much just didn't do it. I'll have to double check with ABC, see if they uploaded anything for Trump, because we found like a Michael Knowles video of him commenting on it, which was. It's always fun to listen to Michael Knowles, so I recommend you do it.
Yeah.
But he does a pretty good job of staying silent during the questions and whatnot. So.
Yeah. For sure. And one thing that I did want to say, and thank you for reminding me, because I totally would have skipped over that, because I was just looking at the articles. So I do want to address something that Ben said on his podcast. So he basically just said that it was a bad idea, and that Trump was not prepared, and that he didn't give some good answers. And I think he's 100% wrong.
I think he's 90% wrong. I would say some of the answers he gave were kind of mealy mouth, sort of just beating around the bush bullshit.
Yeah.
But that's because some of the questions he got were just unanswerable. Like, they don't.
Yeah.
Like, when was America ever great for black people? It's like, well, I actually tell you get upset.
Yeah.
I actually tell you it was in the 40s and 50s when the black family worth was the same as white family worth. He'll be like, but there was still Jim Crow. It's like, yeah, that's true. But economically, it was quite nice.
Right, yeah.
Unfortunately true. Unfortunate truths, put it that way.
Yes.
Or Al Gore might say, an inconvenient truth.
Yeah.
Point being that there were times in this country, yes, some of them before the Civil Rights Act, where financially and generally on a freedom index, it wasn't that bad to be black in this country.
Right.
Especially in the northern parts of the country where you weren't really being heavily discriminated against. And obviously, there was racism. You're not going to be able to avoid that, but. Obviously the southern United States was a lot harsher, legally speaking, to black Americans, and generally speaking. But it's just the fact of the matter is probably immediately after the Civil Rights Act, those first 5-10 years, and then parts of the 10-20 years before the Civil Rights Act, where you had really good economic progress on behalf of the black Americans. They were doing excellently. Or sorry, excellently. They were doing excellent. That's probably a better way to put that. On the economic growth and whatnot. They were doing a good job of accruing wealth, and I think that was a good time to be black in America. At least your future was looking pretty bright.
Yeah.
I think it was also, in terms of Harlem and whatnot. When you have jazz and you have a lot of culture coming out of the black community, and you live in predominantly black areas where you're not going to get discriminated against, but you can be part of an extremely enriching cultural revolution occurring in these inner cities here. That might have been a cool time to be black in America.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But that's not what MAGA even means.
No.
It's referring to the fact that we've lost the ability to take pride in ourselves because of a bunch of bullshit that's been pushed.
Yeah.
Bad economic policy, bad propaganda, revisionist history, and we can get to a point where we can be a lot more proud of this country, a lot more happier to be Americans.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
really what that effectively means.
Yeah.
And
also to cherish the
that
values.
also means we're going to get back to American values.
Yep.
We're going to get back to we're going to get back to constitutional values and Declaration of Independence values. That's what that means. We got to get away from this left wing bullshit we've been going on for the last 8-something years.
Yep.
Well, even before that, there was plenty of stuff going on in the Bush administration I don't like either. So we get back to more of a constitutional outlook on the country, Declaration of Independence philosophy. That's what that really means. And this idea that it was never great, that America's never been good for black people, it's like, okay, well, sorry, but economically, it's the best country in the world for them. So I don't know what the hell you mean.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And
not that we don't have problems. There's legitimate grievances from the black community right now. Mm-hmm. But Trump has tried to address those problems, and you hate when he does it. When he says you need more police, you need less crime, you have to lower crime, you have to increase investment. By the way, Trump has done that. He's done tax incentives to opportunity zones to incentivize businesses to come and create jobs in local communities there.
Yep.
In the inner city. He knows what the problems are. He wants to fix these problems, but the police and local courts, things like that, that's run by the districts there. That's run by the cities, the municipalities. Those are Democrats. Democrats are making bad decisions that make your lives harder. Trump's not talking about bringing us back to a time when black people didn't have a right to vote. Like, it's not a race. Make America Great Again has nothing to do with race.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like, we're just talking about a general pride in our country and having an American philosophy at the center of what we do.
Yep.
Which is something we haven't had in our government for a little while.
Yeah.
So, maybe since Ronald Reagan, but I'd say Ronald Reagan wasn't even perfect at it. So.
Yeah.
But neither is Trump. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. He's better than a lot of them.
Because here's the deal. I guess I can see what he's saying. For me, if I want to talk about a specific way I want the country to be, again, harking back to like a previous thing, my slogan would probably be make politicians fear their constituents again.
Yeah, there you go.
And my campaign promise would be a machine gun in every household.
Oh, that's awesome.
Make the politicians afraid again. That's what we need to be doing.
Make politicians afraid again.
Let's go. Afraid to do anything stupid. That's what I would do. But anyway, that was a hard question for him. And Trump is not an elegant talker to begin with, so he didn't answer it perfectly. But he made some really good points.
Yeah, he did.
You're saying that America wasn't good for. You're saying that America was never good for black people, and you're saying that my phrase, "Make America Great Again," is actually mean we're going to do something bad to black people. But if you actually look at my policies, I'm amazing for the black community.
Yep.
Economically, being the chief reason he's amazing for them, because of course economics really is what affects your lives the most. So on a local level especially. So he was just pointing out that actually with my policies the black community is doing amazing, and if that is a result of my MAGA messaging, then your point on it being racist is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. And then he touted the First Step Act as well, which was a really big deal.
Yeah, exactly. His prison reform stuff has been pretty good. Actually, that is the thing for when was Black America great? Maybe when we weren't doing 3 strike laws. Maybe when we hadn't started a war on drugs. Yeah. That'd have been a good time, actually. That'd have been a time where you were a lot better off to be black. Because now you've been thrown in jail for ridiculous crap.
Yep.
So there was a time in the not so distant past when, it was a much more better position legally to be black than it is currently.
Yeah.
With the amount of drugs going on in the inner cities, and those drugs, they shouldn't be arrested the way you are.
No.
So that sort of stuff. It's ridiculous,
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. And but essentially, what it boiled down to was Trump got a whole bunch of hard questions, and then Biden got a whole bunch of softballs. Well,
it wasn't even that he just got hard softball questions. That Biden got questions like, "Why is Orange Man so evil and bad on X thing?" And Trump got questions like, "Why are you so evil and orange on these things?"
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You got questions that were just extraordinarily unfair to Trump the whole way through.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. It was funny to watch. I wish you guys had watched some of it live. I watched both of them live, so I got to see more or less the full thing.
I didn't get to, unfortunately, but yeah.
But we can't find good videos for him. I really don't know what to tell you. We looked on YouTube, and we looked on BitChute too for a little bit.
Right.
Couldn't find
Yeah.
any good videos to link to for you guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but
Hopefully you guys.
what-
And I know the Biden town hall or the Trump town hall, sorry, was cut into segments by ABC, like for each question.
Yep.
So you can go look at that. They have a playlist for that. That's pretty
Yeah.
not too bad. But the Biden one, just memory hold. I don't know where it's gone.
yeah.
I don't know, I
one
don't
thing
know
that I
where it
did-
is.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know where it is. Like I don't know
Oh, yeah.
where to direct you guys to watch the whole Biden thing. So
Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think that
yeah.
from what I saw of the Biden town hall, he actually did have some decent answers, but I don't know if he actually.
Yeah, I liked some of it actually. I watched the first part of his answer on police, and I thought it was good.
Yep. Yeah.
He said stuff, like hands at 10 and 2, be responsible, respect the police, respect their commands. And they said some stuff like, we got to do some different stuff with training. It's like he said totally reasonable things. It's like, man, why couldn't you have just said that before?
Yeah. Oh, and then he also said, you know who hates bad cops more than us? Police
Good
officers.
cops. Yeah.
And he didn't even say good cops. He just said police officers. And I'm
I
like,
think he said good cops. Yeah, the people that hate bad cops the most are good cops. I think is what
he
he
didn't
said.
say good cops. He said police officers. He
Okay,
literally
well,
said
I think
police officers.
that isn't. Then he's not saying it right.
Yeah, I know. But he's like, yeah.
I do remember that answer, and so I mean that's what I'm saying. Like he has some good stuff to say actually, and it's like
This time.
because he's a moderate. He personally is, even though he has been hijacked. His brand has been hijacked for something to do something else. But well, we have a bunch of miscellaneous stories here. Do you have anything to comment on that? I know a lot of these were yours, so.
Yeah. So, first thing was that for the first time in this election cycle, Trump is ahead in a poll. And Rasmussen. has
General
him
poll,
ahead.
right?
Yep, in a general poll. Yeah. This is the first time that this has happened in the election. And I don't know if he was ahead in any of the polls in 2016, because I wasn't following stuff closely back then, or at all. But it's definitely the first time in this election cycle that he was ahead by any margin. So, but yeah, no, he's ahead by a spread of 1 in a Rasmussen poll from this week, which is crazy because Rasmussen, it leans more right, but it's still for a long time it's just still had Biden up by like 4 or 5. So like,
yeah, something's changed.
Something has definitely changed, and so it's pretty crazy. And then you also wanted to add in the approval ratings.
Yep.
As well. So for pretty much this past week, he's been over 50%, which is not very common for his presidency.
Yeah, he'll get up to like 50 or 51 like on a day or something, but it's hard to see him hold that streak of like 51, 52, 53 for like the whole week.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the thing is 53 is the highest, which was yesterday. That's the highest his approval rating he's had.
Now it is Rasmussen. That isn't an aggregate poll. Aggregate, he may be somewhere lower, but that's still really interesting because even the Rasmussen will report him at 47, I think, on average.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
things are actually looking up, man. Things are actually looking up.
Yeah. So with the closer we get, like the more confident I get that Trump's going to win.
Oh yeah. It's we're dialing in and we're looking at the candidates more closely now, and people are starting to realize, yeah, no, I'm not really all for this Biden guy. Yeah.
And one thing that I wanted to mention about the Biden thing is he did stumble a couple times from the little bit that I've seen as well.
Yeah, he wasn't. Well, for me, it wasn't even stumbling. His grammar was so bad in some areas. It's like, what the hell are you saying, dude? But ultimately, performed reasonable. And I think if he debated like that, he'd probably get handed his ass handed to him fairly handily. But I don't believe that he would be blown out of the water or anything. I think he could handle himself reasonably okay.
I don't know, man.
I mean, it wasn't a good
stopped? No one else stops.
It wasn't a good look for him, but I mean, it also wasn't really all that bad. He didn't make any major errors we can laugh at.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, go have the debate, man. Like, do the debate. You can do a town hall. You can do a debate.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Do you think at this point, do you still think that those are going to happen?
I have no idea, man, because I think there's a huge sorry. I think there's a huge push for it. I just don't know if it'll actually occur.
Oh yeah, and then one thing that I forgot to add in, but we'll add in after. Did you see that they were calling for Joe Rogan to moderate one of the debates?
Well, that wasn't them. That was Joe Rogan saying it, and Trump said he would do it.
Yeah. Trump said, "Oh, let's go for it." That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, 4-hour long debate moderated by Joe.
That would be. That
Oh
would
my
be really
God!
Cool.
I don't think Biden could handle it. I don't think he can handle 4 hours of Trump.
No, no, he can't. Especially
he'd
if
be
Joe
fucked.
Rogan is asking as being the moderator.
Because he'd be getting hard questions both ways, and Trump could deal with hard questions. He does it all the time.
Yep.
But Biden, Christ, man, Biden would get smoked.
Yeah.
You know what Joe Rogan should do? He should go and say, like, okay, guys, I'm going to pretend to be, like, objective, but I'm going to give you guys the questions ahead of time. So, haha, we'll trick them into thinking that I'm, like, being fair. And then he should just totally change the questions out last minute and not.
Oh,
he prepare. He should just, like, he should lull them into a false insecurity that they're used to, and then blindside them.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. And the thing is that would severely benefit Trump more than it would Biden because.
And they know that the Biden campaign's aware.
Yep.
So I don't think that will happen.
No, but that would be really funny if it did. To see the look on Biden's face when it's a question that he doesn't know. He's like, "Nani?" But
that should be a rule though from now on. Like top political program period. Whoever hosts that should be the moderator for these debates.
Yeah.
Like whatever is the top rated political program in the country.
Yeah.
Anything could be podcast, could be television show, whatever gets the most views regularly.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we can get like a Ben Shapiro moderated debate.
Oh, that would be nice. Oh, so apparently the first one is still supposed to be in 10 days on September 29th.
Yeah, but now you're saying that he's going to show, though. You're assuming he's going to show, and I just don't think so.
He still hasn't said, and we're 10 days away from it. So
I understand your enthusiasm. I sincerely doubt he'll show up to that.
I don't know, man. It might happen, and it looks like it's going to be Chris Wallace. It's scheduled to be Chris Wallace is going to moderate.
Yeah, that's what they said, but I don't believe it. Putting it out there right now, I don't see Biden showing up for that debate. Personal opinion.
I think he will.
I think he has to if he actually wants to win, because it's going to look so bad if Trump shows up and he doesn't.
Yeah.
But I also think if he shows up, it's a guaranteed loss.
Yeah, that's true. He's screwed either way.
Yeah, exactly. He's damned if he do, damned if he don't. It's just going to look so bad for him. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. I think that's going to conclude it for today. Wyatt, would you like to give us
there was a couple last things that I did want to mention. What?
Hurry up. Go.
Okay. Calm down. Okay, so I think I'll just cut that one out. So I did want to talk about the Bill Barr thing and the fact that the media saying that, or were saying that he compared the COVID lockdowns to slavery.
He didn't. Look at the clip.
Yeah, he didn't.
It's ridiculous.
Didn't look at the clip. I have articles there for that. And then also, whoever it was that moderated, who was it? Was it Anderson Cooper, right? And for Biden's, yeah, he like pitched that to Biden. He was like, yeah, I'm sure that the Bill Barr's comments didn't help that. He was like, and then Biden was like, yeah, it's sick. He literally compared it to slavery, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, that's Biden being a retard because everyone around him was telling him things that are wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
Mr. Put y'all back in chains, motherfucker, talking about comparisons to slavery. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and he did not do that. He said, aside from slavery, this is the biggest trample on rights. And then he also said that, I'm not comparing it to slavery. That's different on a whole nother, but that's different and wrong on a different level than this is. But
he was pretty explicit that he was not comparing it to slavery.
Yeah.
But again, this goes back to it, the opposite of the truth.
Yep, exactly.
The opposite of the truth. It's what you're most often fed.
Yep.
All right, guys. There's a few more here. Let's see. Yeah.
No.
There's the Princeton story, which we covered recently.
Yeah.
Also, update. I don't know if I said it clearly enough, but the Department of Education did say they will start an investigation.
Yes.
So it is going to happen. They're going to investigate this.
Yep.
And I hope they find something. I hope they come back and go, we found sufficient evidence that Asians get screwed over by our current laws, and we're just going to go ahead and say that all public universities currently using affirmative action standards don't get federal funding anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Because under Title VI, affirmative action is illegal.
Yeah.
But, of course, we've decided to legalize that sort of racism, so.
Yep.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. This has been about 2 hours, so I'd say that's pretty damn good. Wyatt, would you like to close this out?
Yeah. So I just want to thank everybody once again for listening, and we love y'all.
Comment below if you think Wyatt's an irredeemable cunt.
Wait, what?
So comment below if you think Wyatt's an irredeemable cunt.
Yeah, comment below if you think that, and then also comment below if you think the same is true of Andrew.
I mean, I know I am. Question is, are you?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know about that.
I know what I am, but what are you?
An idiot, I guess. I feel like Alex Jones. I'm kinda retarded.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of retarded.
Yeah. But
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs gay.
All right. But yeah, no, pretty much just
There you go.
thanks,
Our
everybody.
weekly Alex Jones.
Yep. Yeah. See y'all actually tomorrow with the Constitution episode.
Yeah, we're doing some reading on that.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if fun's the right word, but we'll do it.
Yeah. And then we also I would like to say that we do plan on doing the Bill of Rights Day as well. So
Oh yeah, that gets a solid hour or two for sure.
Yeah, and so that way it makes it a little bit more easier. Not more easier, but it makes it easier to digest with just doing the Constitution.
More easier.
And then,
okay,
yeah, a little bit
Biden.
easier. Yeah, to do just the Constitution on Constitution Day, and then the rest of it. So the Bill of Rights on Bill of Rights Day. So we'll do that as well around the time that the Bill of Rights Day comes around, which I think is in December.
Yep.
So we'll do that, and then
correct.
And then we do plan on doing in January doing like a top 5 presidents for both of us for as a special for President's Day. So things on the horizon. And I was also thinking maybe we could do top 5 worst along with that if we have time, or maybe that could just be something for the.
I mean, I can tell you more or less right now. But
yeah. Well,
all right. I think we're gonna end it right here, and we'll just we'll pick that up on this. Probably do a similar thing for President's Day. Talk 5 worst and 5 best.
Yeah. I think that would be a pretty cool thing to do.
All right. Well, thanks for viewing our content. We appreciate our viewers. This content is made possible by creators like us. You don't pay us a damn thing.
Yeah.
But we still appreciate your viewership, and please comment below. Any questions that we asked during the course of this podcast, we expect answered.
Yeah. We do.
But we appreciate you nonetheless, even if you're too lazy to actually provide us with a comment.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
We'll see you guys next week.
Yep.
For the regular episode. I mean, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, for the regular one. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow on BitChute.
Oh, yeah. And that is the other thing we need to clarify. If you're watching this on YouTube, that's a BitChute exclusive.
Yep. All of our specials are BitChute exclusives.
All right. See you later.
All right. Later.